All right. And we are live. The Last Word with Lord Cognito and Ebontis back on that Friday morning campfire. No big guests, nothing to talk about. Let's just end the show.
Yeah, nothing to talk about, nothing at all. Now, I was like, normally, I gotta tell you guys, I gotta figure out what order I'm gonna do this in. I gotta bring our guest in, but we also got something else to talk about. But first, we got a guest in front of us here. You guys can listen to her. She's amazing. So let's get this thing started. Welcome to The Last Word, episode 118. I'm pumped about our guest today, so let's welcome her to the campfire the only we know how. See if we can make him blush. I'd like to introduce a lady who knows more about this game than many of us will ever hope to. She knows raids so well, she can guide a party of blueberries through anything while jamming to the beats the whole time. This is a trusted community member who is there to support everyone, even through the toughest of times, and a pillar of greatness. And yet, she has so much skill, she takes on encounters one-handed just to make it a challenge. So, let's welcome to the campfire the project lead for Raid Secrets Reddit, a hardworking undergrad, someone who will be there to basically pull out the clutch play when the match is on the line, and the CEO of all frogs. Let's hear it for Hoplite.
Thank you guys so much.
Let's get it.
How are you doing this morning?
Good.
I'm good. It's been a long few days, but all in all, we're doing good.
Yeah.
Good.
Sounded like you missed the weather, which is a good thing, of course. That seemed a little crazy. So you're like, our hurricane, just lean to the right. Come on.
Yeah.
Lean away.
Good to have you. So finally get you to campfire.
Yeah.
A lot to talk about, a lot going on. You know, I was lying earlier. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, nothing important happening at all.
Yeah, it's a pretty quiet week.
Seriously.
Oh man. So yeah, let's talk about hops. Let's talk about it. Like, so obviously, you know, I mean, big in the community and stuff. So like just in general, you know, let's start from kind of like the beginning as far as kind of just gaming first. Like what kind of got you into gaming and stuff like that?
I mean, so my dad was a big fan of games growing up, particularly Diablo. That's his favorite series, but he had an old PlayStation and an old Dreamcast.
Ooh.
And so as a kid, I was constantly playing Sonic Adventure, Pac-Man World, and so that's kind of what I grew up on.
Nice. That's a classic set there.
Mm-hmm. A lot of classics. So then from there, you just kept on with it, you know, from dad.
Yeah.
That nice.
Hey, I appreciate. I was gonna say I appreciate you got the Dreamcast, the PlayStation, but
Yeah.
Nintendo added the Legend of Zelda series to your life, so we are friends now. This is all I needed to see. Zelda is one of my all-time, so that is beautiful. I love that. So, which Zelda? What are your like top couple Zeldas? Like, don't overthink it. Just a couple quick ones to pop into your head.
Hey, so I haven't gotten to play Ocarina.
Okay.
Let me preface this with that.
Okay.
Okay.
But Twilight Princess I really enjoyed.
Nice.
Breath of the Wild I enjoyed, but it didn't feel like the other two.
Yeah.
I don't mind though, it's just like a good game. And then Skyward Sword. But
Wow.
There you
that
go.
was controversial. But
Hey,
it was like,
no, that was
It's
one was
a
cool.
very polarizing Zelda.
so I used to have a speedrun method in it on two of the bosses.
Nice. Very cool. Yeah, very, like I said, like so many great Zeldas, and I love how everyone has that little emotional attachment to specific one. So it's really cool to see. That's awesome. So
Well,
like
if
I
you
said,
ever get a chance, Ocarina, that's one of those, like, I feel like Ocarina, however you say it, I'm sure I'll get it wrong all the time. It is one of those that seems like a classic even when people go back to play it. So if there's a chance for you to play it at some point, I don't have enough time to do anything anymore either, so it's kind of hard to ask, but it is a good one. But from what I've heard of, people are like ranking like Ocarina of Time, Twilight Princess ranks really high for a lot of people. So the fact that one's sitting up there, you're already good to go.
absolutely. So E, what you got for that?
So I wanted to ask how the journey into like Raid Secrets, kind of becoming a project lead there. And this is like the Destiny Raid Secrets Reddit. If you guys have ever seen that before, which if you've ever looked up any like guides trying to track like the most current crazy puzzle that's going on, it's all in there. So how did you get involved, and what drew you to that to kind of really get involved in that group and community?
So I was watching streams back during season 5, I think. And it was in the middle of the Izanami Forge puzzle, and they were struggling with it. And I'm like, okay, I kind of want to help. So I joined their Discord. I'm hanging out with them. Eventually, I help them get through it. Then Niobe Labs comes around.
Ooh.
And there was so many different ideas going around. I decided to start a separate Discord. And I kind of convinced everyone to come in and work with us.
Okay.
And the rest is history.
Wow.
We just kept going from there.
Wow. I remember Niobe Lad. That broke people's spirit.
Well, yeah, because they forgot. Was it that they forgot, or one clue was kind of wrong? There was one twist that made it.
So what happened was, there was, for the last part, there was a clue that wasn't really specific. And so I had a spreadsheet, and I sent a bunch of people to test things. And someone incorrectly entered that it was the wrong answer. So we found it multiple days early, but no one realized that was the answer.
Wow.
Oh, man.
Wow. How much time was lost after that? Wow.
A day and a half, too.
Oh, God.
That has got to be, yeah. I remember that. The community was stumped. It was a big.
This is a lesson. Be accurate with your data. Seriously. Hey, she appreciates that, I guarantee you, after that day and a half lost.
That is true, though. That is true. Yeah, I remember that. Niobe, crazy time in the community.
Yeah.
So I remember all that craziness going down, and I think you guys took it to another level for Corridors of Time.
Corridors is like a whole company, whereas Niobe was like a few people. This was hundreds.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, it was. That brought so many people together. I was like, what are some of your favorite like discoveries, during the whole Raid Secret stuff? Like, so what are some of the things that you really look back and reflect on, and you're like, wow, that was a fun time, or you really enjoyed it?
Yeah, the main three that stick out to me are Niobe, because just the hours of no sleep, and it was an absolute mess of a time, and I appreciate it.
You thrive in chaos. Yeah, I was gonna say.
So you said 3, right? You said so. Niobe.
So the second is 0 Hour.
0 Hour.
That was a collaboration with math class, but figuring out the different unlock sequences. And the state was that we kind of just figured ourselves out, and it was really quick. And then, of course, Corridors.
Woo. Nice. Those are 3 good ones. And the community aspect of Corridors, and like I said, Niobe with his difficulty, and of course, 0 Hour, how much fun that was, and also the secrets for the terminals and stuff like that. Yeah, that was a lot involved with that. Salute. I was like, that's pretty cool. That's a great 3 great stories from that. Gotta respect it. What you got here?
Well, in the world of Destiny, I kind of like how between D1 and D2, you're half like me and half-life Cognito, but you are leaning Cognito's way currently. You are one with the Shadebinder we'll get to here in a little bit.
Yes.
So we got a fellow Warlock on the podcast. Apparently, you shall not pass. Now you guys, if you don't have that emote, you have to have that now, because now you have the staff. So,
I do. I have the one with the Warmind
the
staff.
Siva one? Nice.
Yeah, I got the Siva one. Yeah.
You shall not pass. Now it just needs to be white. You just need to put a shader on your emote. Aries, we know you're Revenant for life. We get it. We'll talk to you later. You're fine. Yeah.
Let's get it.
What about you? Like, started you on the Titan, but what made you switch to the Warlock come D2? Is there any like ability change or what?
I was playing chess, and I realized that Blink had a lot of utility. And when D2 came around, Warlock was the only class that had Blink. And since I had started PvPing with Blink Lock, I was like, this is actually where we need to go.
And it stuck. So the PvP decided the character.
Yeah.
It makes sense. Yeah. Shout out. Salute to the Warlocks out there. You know, you knew Rad stand up. You know, we got Hop in the building. We got representation today. So this is good. This is very good. We're very happy about this. But no, that's a good point. That's a good point because you know, that Void class is always for PvP. You know, that Blink.
It's really good.
Really good. So shout out to the Void Locks out there blinking around.
I remember when you were running a Void Lock, sir, and you were like, dude, this is so broken. And then they finally nerfed it, and it was like you had your just like knees like busted underneath you. It was brutal.
Wait, what was it that Nova Warp debuted? What was it? Forsaken?
Nova Warp was this Forsaken.
And I was just like, because I think at that time, let's be real, like the other classes kind of got more popularity. They looked cooler. You had the Maul with the Titan, and you know, it just was more fun. And I know
it looks nice, but sadly hasn't ever gotten as much love as it could use.
True.
Fire Tornado could be better.
What I remember, I'm like, there's a grenade that kills people in one shot, and there's a super that I just poof around the map and kill the whole squad and catch them again, respawning and killing it. I was like, this is broken. I was doing 10 streaks. I'm like, yeah, this game.
It was so good. Especially because one of my favorite things to do is if an enemy is running tether.
Yeah.
If you timed it right, you can zoom out of the tether and it would just do nothing.
See, this is crap. I'm a Titan and I still know it's crap, but I faced it for a little while. So.
I'll admit, I mean, we were running wild for a bit. Like once the secret got out and everybody just started doing it, Voidlocks were terrorizing the Crucible. It was bad. Yeah, we got hit with that bad hammer quick. We got hit with that nerf hammer. Oh man, so the good old days when things were broken and wild.
A little bit broken. I'm just sitting over here on my schmuck Titan I got my hammers for a little while in Taken King, and then I got smacked around.
I mean, I've always had bottom cheese striker though.
Fair point.
Facts. Talk about it.
Okay, maybe I'm just like not smart. I don't use that one that often, so I should, but I don't. Yeah, I never have really been that good with it.
I'm surprised by it.
I've always been slightly attached to if I really want to play PvP, even if it's just like quick play or anything, if I want to actually like not go after a specific quest, which is usually half the time I'm in there anyway, it's typically going to be hammers for me.
I know. I always associate you with a Sun Titan, but my question is: this is the question I never asked you. I'm glad we're talking about this. I never hear you talk Fun Police. Like, I never hear you. There's no Dark Side of the Void with E. Like, I'm sorry. You don't
Dark Side of the Void.
Let me tell you, when I face a Void Titan, I think it's the most disrespectful thing. I have my super ready, and they be like, "Yo, stop that, shut it off."
I've done it. I've watched people be so good with that, and it's hilarious to watch. I've done it I've dabbled here or there, and especially if I'm running around on my Titan, sometimes I'll be playing Code of the Commander for PvE, which I love it in there because the Void explosion chains are just beautiful. But if I'm in PvP, I might switch over and be like, I'm on Void. I'm like, well, I might as well switch grenades. So I'll do that, and then I'll play Suppressor. And it is really, really satisfying just to kind of bounce it towards you. I don't care if I get suppressed. I'm going to suppress you, and it's going to be the fun part. And it's just No, I don't do it that often, though. If I'm going to play and try and... I don't usually play Fun Places like my class.
And you don't Captain America with the joy? That is... I think that's...
Never makes sense, nothing. Yeah. That one could be...
I agree. I think you got to.
Yeah, apparently, I PvP some. I don't PvP as much. Mostly PvE. So, but yeah, it's I need to just experiment with more stuff more. So I get kind of stuck in my hammer throwing. It's just fun to chuck a hammer, little curve on it.
There's something about just taking a giant ass hammer and
big flaming hammer throwing. can't tell you how much fun it is to nail like a point with 2 or 3 people on it halfway across the map and get the arc trajectory just right. Feels good.
Oh yeah.
And I guess maybe it might be more just the fact that it gives me the range play, which is probably just safer for me as opposed to getting up in the mix. Like the people who like run charge like dash and like then get in there and screw you over. I'm like, man, like it's skillful to watch. I'm not as good at it. So
but
yeah, schmuck over here. That's pretty much all I'm saying. I need to practice. That's all this whole discussion lies to.
Last question though. That never was the bubble Titan. None of that like excited you. I always felt like that was that now like warlocks.
Well, I mean, if I want to, if it's on control, it'd be like, sup, then just chill. Yeah, no, bubble Titan on control is really fun to use. I just would rather be more active than just hang out with the bubble.
Okay, got you. You don't like the support role as much. You prefer being active.
Which is funny because in World of Warcraft, I was always a healer.
Support guy.
I was always a healer before, and now I want to go smack stuff around. So who knows?
Interesting. Salute.
It was a healer or a tank. I never played DPS. Maybe that's why I'm not a warlock.
Fair.
Everybody was DPS. You needed healers and you needed tanks. I had one of each. I had a druid and I had a warrior. So, yep.
Fair enough. So I want to ask how like this, as far as now, like, you know, you getting into streaming, like the whole content creation aspect, and you know, what kind of inspires you there to say, you know what, you know, I really want to do this now, you know.
So it originally started as like when I was like, a teen, I guess early teens, I started streaming on Twitch. It didn't really go anywhere. And originally it was to prove that I could do it. And over time I ended up cultivating community, and now I kind of go live every day for them more than me.
Yeah, that's one of those things I've kind of noticed about watching you on Twitter and then on the stream and everything is you're pretty selfless. You do a lot of things. You're a nice rock for other people to hang out with, to lean on, and just a really positive like beacon for a lot of people to be around. So it's kind of
means a lot.
It's good to have those in the community, especially when we don't need to dwell on. But there was some stuff that went down, and you were really like important piece of that, and it was really nice to watch like the stronger people in the community and all those things. And it was just
Thank you.
Yeah, it's good to have people like you in the community. They are very, very important, even if like not everybody may know or see all the things like the stuff you do, like selflessly, like kicking ass in the background for the raid secrets, or just like streaming, or just everything that was going down. Well, the support you gave to everybody was amazing. So yeah, it's cool. Just wanted to thank you for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, salute.
Thank you.
For sure. But you got
doing what I think is right.
Yeah,
that's kind of the big thing. It does seem kind of like do the right thing. Seems common sense, but it isn't actually that common anymore, which is really sad. But yeah, as for what's up with the frogs? I gotta know. How did that start? What's the CEO of the frogs thing? People may know, people may not.
My favorite animal is a sea turtle, not a frog. But when people saw my name, they associated it with frogs, and they asked for frog emotes. And it became the channel mascot, and I said, you know what? I'm going to play into it.
Yeah, that
makes sense.
That actually makes perfect sense. Hey, at least you're in the reptile. You're in the reptile family, frog, turtle. So, I mean, you're good there. But that's so funny, the Hoplite. So, yeah, the CEO of all frogs. I see that notification come up, and it just kills me every time.
Yeah, hilarious. Warning, guys, they're doing construction. So
yeah, so Cognito's got construction, and yeah, it's like joys of construction. Well, while Cognito is silent, he can't say anything about this, so I want to actually say something for Cognito while he's silent and can't defend anything. So I want to introduce my co-host, and this is a gentleman who has been making the rounds this week. He was the co-host of Unlocked, the IGN Xbox podcast. Got to spend some time on there with Destin, Ryan McCaffrey, the Dream Xbox podcast. Absolutely crushed it this week, and then turned around back-to-back showings. Yesterday was on Fire Team Chat. This man making the rounds. Man, how does it feel to be a star in Hollywood now, sir? How is it going? How do you feel? What are you going to do? Are you going to go to Disneyland? What's next?
Look, man, it has been a surreal week. I will say that. Never in a million years that I think I would be on both Unlocked and Fire Team Chat in one week. Let's just say this. Man, I want to thank everybody. Like, I don't get emotional a lot, but this week made me very emotional just to see everyone show the support and happy for me to be there. And, and both, these are both dream scenarios. Like, E, you're the guy I lean on. I cheer you on, as far as your endeavors. Like, for me, one of my proudest moments, I'll always tell you this, seeing you on DCP and stuff like that. So for me, I'm just like, I'm the little cog, I just run my mouth and talk about gaming and that stuff. I'm not that big in the community, but to see people, galvanize and come for supporting me, truly humbling. I want to thank everybody that showed up. I see the comments. And like I said, it shed a little tear. I was just like, wow, like this really feels good. But yeah, salute to Podcast Unlocked. We had a great show. And then obviously salute to Destiny Gary, the entire, Fire Team Chat. We talked about obviously a live reaction of the Stasis stuff. And, I had to shout boy out that last word. And shout out to Destiny Gary to butcher your name, because your new name is Ebonitis.
No, hell no. That's not sticking. And if you guys stick, I'm going to boot you out of my chat. So don't do it.
Lord Ebonitis himself.
You can't no. No.
He felt so bad. He was like, God, all this time no one corrected me. I've been saying his name wrong. I'm like, yeah. I was like, bro, I said Ebonitis. No, Ryan McCaffrey said Ebonitis sounds like a disease. I was like, well, Ebonitis sounds like a biblical character.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Podcast So salute to Destin. Oh man, it was what's up, man. Thank you, man. It was truly a phenomenal week and a lot of fun, man. So salute.
Definitely had to shout you out. I mean, like this, if you guys haven't ever watched Iron Lord's podcast, you are missing out on a lot of like great discussion between some awesome guys. A lot of passion for, I mean, can't say like a lot of passion for the Xbox community, but just like gaming in general, life-changing for those guys, especially just like as a community coming together. For some people, it's like they fall into games as opposed to falling into many other things that aren't as good growing up. So it's like gaming, bringing these guys together, talking about it. And then now it's just this bond that they have. They talk and give each other crap. The guests that they get on there are really fantastic. Overall, like if you guys don't watch Iron Lord podcast, go over there. And then this man out here trying to like burn the candle at both ends between work, having like a gaming website that he got off the ground and everything. And then now seeing you get this week, man, it's
thank you, brother.
Like years and decades of hard work, and it's paying off. I'm glad to see it, man.
Thank you, brother, man. Like I said, you've always been an inspiration in that regard. So to see your journey, and then, like I said, just getting, I guess, recognition. Recognition always feels good. You always feel good. And I feel for us, it's just like, the good guys, getting a little shine. Sometimes we feel the negativity wins sometimes, but it's good for the good guys to actually get some support and stuff like that. And it's dope, man. It's cool. And shout out to everybody, to chat, everybody. One cool comment too I saw in the comments was like, wait a minute, I know him. He's on the last word. I was like, all right, you know me from somewhere. All right. I like that.
So sorry, Hop, not trying to take away from you at the guest, but a shout out my co-host. So no, that was just a big one.
It, and thank you for the support. Always from day one.
Oh, absolutely. We've been through a fair amount of thick and thin on this crazy game. So nice to see it. But yeah, Hop. As for you, thank you for bringing all the frogs and greatness with you today. So, a bad case of Ebonitis. What?
Yo, they going in. Bad case of Ebonitis.
I got a bad case of Ebonitis.
Yo, it's
deep. It's getting into the lungs, man. I gotta go see the doc. It's gone from the nose to the throat. It's getting bad.
Ebonitis of Destiny. Yo, they going in.
Thank you for this, by the way.
It was good, dude. You couldn't have scripted. I said, E, when I was on podcast a lot, I said, E, whatever you do, watch the final 5 minutes. It was pure comedy watching this man butcher your name, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I said, I'm going to use it when I
like in fairness to him, it's like I popped into his chat and stuff. I've followed those guys forever. I've followed IGN for as long as I can remember. So I was like popped into his chat when he'd be streaming and stuff, be like, hey, and he'd seen the name because like whether it's a question and popped and answered it, whatever it was. It's hard to tell somebody how to pronounce your name by text. I mean, I could write it out as like a big capital E space BON space TIS. Like I could but I'm not that type of person to do that in like somebody's chat. I'm just like, hey, if you say it, whatever. My last name has been messed up for most of my life, so I'm kind of used to it anyway. So it wasn't that far off. At least the letters were right, as opposed to what my last name's been through. So it's fine.
Salute to Des, but nah, he made sure he made it right though. He was when I was fine to chat. He definitely
nailed
it.
Right. Yeah. So yeah.
Yo, Black Wings, you're doing too much. You're doing too. Yeah, I once caught an Ebonitis to the knee. Black Wings, Ebonitis, host of the last word. Yo, because it sounds very Roman.
Ebonitius.
Ebonitius.
Host of the last wordius.
Yes, very, very Roman, very Spartacus.
Let me just go get my like helmet.
Yeah, and you a Titan, Ebonitis the Titan, yo. Fire.
Oh man. Well, nothing else happened. So great episode, guys. Awesome to meet you, Hoplite. Thank you. No, I'm just kidding. So yeah, yesterday we waited about an hour and 45 minutes to get our Stasis trailer. Now I know that's marketing. I'm gonna be honest completely, but they're like, yeah, we got, and it's just like Jeff Keighley's just like dragging us on and dragging us on. We like get through the entire Gamescom trailer, then Fall Guys, Destiny 2, Ratchet and Clank, bam, 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 done. See ya. Like they even kicked it off with like Call of Duty. I was like, okay, they might mix some stuff. No,
yeah, maybe they can pace it out. No,
like bookends on a show, and then there was some interesting stuff in the middle. I'm not gonna be a lie, but I was like, I'm waiting for one thing, and I was like, you're killing me here, dude.
You'd think they paced the major reveal stuff, but instead they kind of backloaded it.
Oh, there was one. I was even watching this. Some of you guys weren't here yesterday when I was watching it. Whatever they were watching, it was like a more serious game, and then instantly flipped to that like cartoony wrestling game, like this. I'm like, you have random transitions of like YouTubers talking here about this. That's where you put one of those right there. I was like, I'm not going to be the conference guy. I'm not like a producer, but at that moment I wanted to be one because I was like, that didn't fit.
You know what else didn't fit? When they bring Godfall on the screen, it looks better.
Oh, for 12 seconds?
And it was like 5, 10 seconds. And they
like,
literally, they like, I was just ready to smell the food and they just yanked it away. And I'm like,
be like, nope.
Nope. I'm
still excited about Godfall, but I was like, what do you do? What? Why? Why
was even there? Like, I was
hurt,
hurt, man. They were laughing at me on stream because I was pumping it up. They clowned me on my stream. Oh yeah, Neil Beto though. You should have heard the laugh because I was pumped. I'm like, yo, I really want to get excited about this game, and then it was like, what the heck?
Yeah, that was like somebody. I don't know. Somebody sent them the wrong. I don't know what it was, but it was.
It's like almost like an emergency.
Like, oh, we need a clip. Like, here's 12 seconds of this guy. Go. Yeah. Because I mean, I've seen Eric's. He had like kind of an exclusive, but that was like 13 minutes of gameplay, showing some classes, and like, where's like even a minute? It was just so weird. But yeah, Godfall still excited about. Ratchet and Clank looks fantastic. If you guys go watch that 4K trailer, just even when Clank, you haven't
seen it.
Yeah, go watch that one. But like when Clank, I think haven't actually played the two. I heard the one on PS4 is actually pretty good though. But when he's talking, just like starting to see what ray tracing, the reflections on the floor from everything above, just getting a feel for seeing the ray tracing in action, just because it's starting to get more and more predominant with like the new graphics cards coming, like the NVIDIA 3000 series and the RDNA 2, all that stuff's coming, and then the consoles. Like ray tracing gonna start to be a thing, and it's a subtle thing, but makes everything just feel that much more real. Which
I feel it's gonna have a similar effect to when my console guys finally experience HDR. HDR was a game changer too. You know what I'm saying? If you haven't really seen it, high dynamic range, really good. So you got that and ray tracing. These are gonna be a lot of things people are gonna get excited about. And Ratchet and Clank definitely did the thing, man. It was really impressive. And to me, one of the most, I know we're going off subject for a second, but launch window.
Yes.
Launch window. That was big. That was big, which adds another feather to the cap.
Yeah.
For Sony. Launch. And unlike another console that lost an exclusive, these are things that people gravitate towards consoles. So
if I can get like the rumored Demon Souls as well, my trifecta, I will have to day one if that's a day one.
Yeah, Addict said the same thing. He's Xbox. He's like, look, he's probably gonna buy one. He said if Demon Souls is there,
he's
gonna have issue. He gonna have to.
He can be like, see, guys, I gotta go talk to a blue podcast.
Bro, it's the same thing. The only thing with me is like, I guess for me, the only way that would happen is like, let's say for example, Ghost of Tsushima didn't exist, right, on PlayStation 4, and they announced it as a new game on PlayStation 5. Oh yeah,
yeah, you would do it too.
I'm behind gonna be over there. I'll be over there. I'll see you, but I'll be over here playing.
What about you, Hop? Where are you at on this whole console thing? Because besides the giant game of Price Chicken, which is still killing me, do you typically play consoles, PC? I mean, I know you got a PC fairly recently for streaming.
So, I used to play an Xbox, but my Xbox finally broke like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, damn. That recent.
Yeah, so I'm kind of torn between.
Was it like the 8-year-old, like day one, or which Xbox?
Which Xbox?
I don't know. I think I'm going to actually pass on this console generation, at least for a bit.
Okay.
Stick with PC.
Okay.
Until I have a reason to go back to console.
But I just wanted to ask you, which version of the Xbox broke? Was it the Xbox One S, the Xbox One X, the old Xbox with
the original one I got in 2013?
Oh, you had the VCR one. Okay.
Yeah, I've got the day one controller. Mine's still going, but mine just plays like Netflix and movies, so that's all mine does.
When I see
mine's
you
a media console. Yeah,
I already know it's movie night with the wife. I was like, there's nothing gaming going on over here.
Every streaming service and a Blu-ray player. Those are my pinned buttons. There's not a game on that console.
Clearly, I see you. I'm like, I'm not even gonna send him a message.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. That's. But yeah, for the new consoles, I mean, that's kind of the thing too. Is like, I want a PS5 is the one I'm leaning towards, because like Xbox is going to get me to play whatever they're like the medium and score. Is it? Yeah. It's not Scorn, because I keep wanting to say, is it Scorn?
Scorn is the freaky looking one.
Yeah, and then the medium with like the two realities looks awesome too. Like
horror game, that's the one that got me.
Like those. Granted, if they're on Game Pass, I'm going to play them on my PC. So what I'm sitting here staring at is like, how much is this the 3090? No, am I doing that right?
No.
The GTX 3900.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the brand new one's like 24 gig of memory, and I'm like, I'm just waiting for it to break my wallet. So September 1st, next week, Tuesday, we get to see what all that stuff's all about. So we get to see how broke I get to be when those things launch.
I'm going to be living vicariously through you, sir. Seeing how you.
Here's the problem with that. I've got a 1080 Ti. I can't argue. It's actually been putting up pretty well. I don't have a high refresh rate monitor.
Oh, you got to do that.
Yeah, so I have to do both.
Oh, yeah. You're in trouble. Yeah. You got to do that.
So it's like big GPU. That. Yeah, looking at about $1,500 if that's what the 3090 is like. And then to make sure and use the 3090, I'm like, and this is my issue. It's like, if I do a console and they do, whether it's 4K checkerboard or 4K or whatever it is, they do 4K. So I want to enjoy that on console. So I'm sitting here looking at a 4K 144 hertz monitor. I'm like, gonna cry.
Yeah, bro. You're going to lose it.
I'm going to go broke.
Yeah, for me, it was like the best thing. Again, I know the whole meme with the Xbox on game thing, but the best thing for me was, like I said, the Beyond Light Game Pass, because now I'm going to go there, and then I'm going to do my C10 QLED joint, OLED joint, and then get that at 120, that HDMI 2.1 and that DLSS and the VR variable.
The voice changed. We lost him. The voice changed. I'm sorry, I didn't understand you.
You know, all that hotness, you know. I gotta be over there with that OLED, man. Gotta take it to the limit. These new systems, we gotta maximize, y'all. So yeah, that's what I'll be doing. You go to C9, Cat? Yeah, I was thinking about the C9, just hard to find. No, I'm not doing TCL Neomets. No, I'm not.
So I wanted to ask you, Hop, for your background, I know with like raid secrets and stuff, but it's like, are you computer science? Am I wrong?
Actually, PR and marketing.
Oh,
why did my background? But the ultimate goal is game dev.
Okay, so I thought there was like some piece in there. PR and marketing. So like, start with community manager, get your foot in the door type thing, or more marketing of like.
For me, it's probably move towards QA and then eventually target production.
Nice. Ooh. Have you had any experience yet or talked to any? I know there's some companies in the Texas area, so there's a few sprinkled throughout. I didn't know if there's any ones you're looking at.
Experience with indie stuff, but I'm looking to apply
Uh-oh.
I'm back.
Did we lose E?
I'm back.
Okay, we're back. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Cool.
Every
No worries.
podcast got to have one.
Hey, as long as we stay up, man, that's all I'm concerned about, bro.
I could be like solid for 3 hours, but one time in there, it's got to go. Boo, whoop. Don't know why.
Yeah.
No
So,
doubt.
well,
That's what's up.
apparently we made it this far in, very distracted by many things. But we got to talk about Stasis. Sorry for the
Indeed.
delay, everybody. I apologize, but we had to talk to our guest, the wonderful and awesome Hoplite, and then I had to see if I could make Lord Cognito get emotional again. Give me that one tear. Just tattoo it right there. Wait, no, that's not that. What's that for?
I told you I was very emotional this week. the love was shown for real.
But Stasis dropped. So I don't know how you guys want to talk about just class by class or how you guys want to break it down. I mean, if we go chronological of the way we're getting the information, so they updated the website and they have dates. So the Warlock, September 1st, Titan, September 3rd, Hunter, September 8th. So I guess we can start with the Warlock because I'm outnumbered. So yeah, you Shadebinder, I think is the right word.
Shadebinder.
Shadebinder. What do you guys think?
What you thinking? How you feeling about it?
It looks so good. The only issue is it's the only supers we don't have gameplay of. All the other ones, you can see this one looks fascinating. It's just you only have like the brief snippets.
Right. I felt they probably showed a little bit more of the others,
So I'm
but
still not quite sure how it's gonna work, whether it's gonna be an AoE freeze and then a melee shatter, or like how the actual mechanics of the class are gonna function. It looks great. I'm super into like the mage staff, but we gotta see the gameplay.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. There's still a couple of questions we got to figure out, but I think as a warlock, I think there's nothing cooler than having like this Lord of the Rings / Merlin staff. Aesthetically, it fits a warlock. So in that part of me, super excited. You make it a good point, Hop, in the sense that as far as the mechanic, because it seems like it's two-part. Now, I'll shout out to Edessa, those guys. We're kind of trying to figure it out, too, and I want to bring this to you. We're seeing almost like this freeze and then a shatter mechanic.
Yes.
So the question I want to bring to both of you is, during the freeze state, because we're seeing it in PvP also, right? The Warlock put it down, Golden Gun came down, it was like freeze, you stop that. Right? So we saw that motion, that was cool. But the question is, do we think the freeze status means you're already dead or you're just slowed and then the shatter is what kills you? So like, what do you guys think about those two mechanics?
Hop, you're first. So yeah, go.
Oh, okay. So I think that the freeze is a weird mechanic. Which, as someone who comes from competitive Overwatch, scares me a little. Because the CC meta, especially as like a main tank player, so that means I was constantly getting hit with CC and player control is being taken away. It scares me a little. But again, we just don't know enough to know how it's going to work.
Good point. E, what are you thinking, sir?
So you were saying you think it's like crowd control, something like that, but do you think they can't get out of it? Sorry, I didn't quite catch.
Yeah.
So like I'm with that camp. Like I think you can be frozen, but if you're not shot, killed, slid through, shattered in any way, I think you can unfreeze.
Okay.
Yes.
So my opinion is that it is a crowd control mechanic, but if you die after like freezing them, you're eventually going to get out. It's going to work like a debuff. It may suck while you're debuffed. You may just get to watch this dude walk over and thump you and shatter you.
Yes.
But yeah, I still think you can get out of it if you are not affected while frozen. That's that's my guess.
Yeah, that's gonna be the question. Then I guess also duration. How long does it last? Is like almost like a suppressed ability. You look like you're frozen in place. Look like you're not
easy target.
So it's gonna be interesting. It's so many nuances to it, and I think for me, I'm just like I said, this is how I feel about it. Like, I am impressed with how much they are changing the sandbox.
I agree.
Like, this is I'll be honest. When you hear about a subclass, you hear about these kind of things, you figure cool abilities. But we're getting abilities that are literally changing and metamorphosizing the sandbox in all these cool ways. It's exciting because they're really going balls to the wall. They're doing all types of crazy, cool ideas. But then there's another part of me that's like, wow, like Crucible's gonna be crazy.
Yep.
like, there's a part of me that's scared, but happily scared because you want them to go crazy. You want them to do fun.
So here's my take.
Yeah, go
If
for
that
it.
freeze lasts more than 1 to 2 seconds, we're gonna have a problem in the Crucible. If it is a 1 to 2 second freeze, the TTK on most guns is about 0.75 seconds to 1 second. So it's reasonable. If you get too much longer past that, it's literally just a free kill on freeze.
Yeah. These are valid little concerns. We got to see how it plays out. Because I will say again, not to cut you out, but like in PvE, this looks amazing, right? You're like, stop that, do this, boom. If you're on the recipient of these freezing, I don't know how I'm gonna be cheering that on as much.
Hey, I was just gonna say, like, Outsanity asked the question, and he said, I wanted to ask all of us, will Stasis be too OP or screw up PvP? And I just want to be like, yes, it's going to be too OP. Yes, it's going to screw up PvP, and I'm totally for it.
Oh, you're for it?
Yeah, I'm totally for sandbox insanity.
I'm shocked. Oh, you know what? You're right. It does make sense. You being a mayhem lover. And, yeah, okay, I get it now. I get it.
I didn't even picture that in Mayhem yet.
Mayhem's going to be nuts.
It's going to be crazy.
Oh, that's going to be beautiful. Freezing. So, from what I can gather from my crazy frame-by-frame analysis of said trailer, since I'm
you broke it down. You broke it down like all 5 ways to Sunday. Let's go.
There's a video coming, but I was trying to get it before the podcast, but I had to sleep instead, so I had to be awake for this thing. So it looks like the Warlock obviously has the staff, but you have 2 ways. It looks like you shoot roughly 3 to 4 little projectile out. Yeah, you shoot the projectiles. And then they like kind of have, it's either like a burst explosion to like freeze everything, but it doesn't look like that's like an instant kill, depending on how it hits. But then like they kind of like walk up in between all the frozen guys and then just do like from the staff, the radiated like pulse of energy, just shatters everything. I'm just, it's going to be so like the lockdown and then just like, and if the nuke, I say nuke, but the explosion shatters, or if not already frozen, then it freezes the other people. I'm just like, these are really, because you're going to need DPS. You're still going to need your golden guns. You're still going to need your hammers, however you do it. But the control that this is going to bring to a raid for like, hey, we got enemies coming out this door. I'm like, well, not anymore. They're all frozen. Like the control that you're going to have, I can only picture Esoteric just like solo flawlessing everything because nothing can move. He's just going to have the entire encounter is going to be frozen. He's just going to be sitting over there like flipping something around. So it looks like you've got the projectiles and then also the burst with your Soper. So you guys have both range. You can like shoot and still Nova Warp. That's like a kind of a lethal combination because normally like Nova Warp, you gotta go there and now you can shoot something. That's kind of terrifying.
Yeah, it's pretty powerful. I mean, what are you thinking? Like, are you excited about like these, so many options within the super? It seems, right? It seems like there's so many.
Without a doubt, the fact that it can be used in a variety of ways and adds a whole new mechanic into the game. This is easily the most in-depth subclass that we've received thus far.
Yes.
In terms of how it can be utilized.
Yes, and it also reminds me, one thing I'm always jealous of Titans. I know E doesn't embrace the void, but I always felt the versatility of the bubble / Captain America / like they had so much things to do with that one super, and I just thought that's so cool. But E doesn't use it, but it's so
I let
cool.
my brother play that class, all right?
That is like the ultimate protector. Like, I don't know how you don't embrace your inner Captain America, man.
I totally have. It's just like if I'm playing with my brother, that's his anyway. So I'm usually gonna run something different as it is, unless we're just like soloing through. He's always like tank. He wants to be a Titan tank. He wants like RPG stats, so he's actually a tank. So he is your bubble forever. So if we're gonna have alternate from that, I'm not gonna play that. So
you're playing with your bro. So you're like, okay, I gotta do something Okay, now I understand. I'm like,
I've played with a lot of them, but I was like, if especially I'm playing with him, yeah, I'm definitely gonna be something else.
Yeah, he's dibs on tanks. Yeah, you're right. He ain't letting you touch it. I know how Stone do.
Yeah. Thank you for all the crap, though. I totally appreciate it.
No, I have to give it to you.
Yeah. Now, I will say the other side of the Warlocks, though, you're freezing Rift.
We got to talk about it.
This looks kind of broken if it works. Now, this for one is like twofold because potentially it's changing a class ability, which they haven't done ever. I mean, you have the two options, but those have been the two options for a while. So if you have a Rift that freezes, do you think it's coming from an exotic, or do you think it's coming from like the actual skill tree, these like random custom skill trees? You think so?
To me, it looks like it's coming from the skill tree because it's pretty situational, especially because it doesn't look like freezing PvE and PvP are equivalent. I don't think you could rift once and freeze someone in PvP, but you can in PvE.
That probably sounds accurate because I'm gonna tell you right.
If you look at it, it takes multiple ticks to freeze in the PvP game like they showed. In PvE, it's very quick.
That might be the balance right there. That you've got to get caught into it for a couple of seconds.
Kind of like almost take the shield off, like almost get down to your critical health.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's when you get it. Because not to cut you out, you got me thinking. There was a clip where the hunter, I forgot, it's a Crucible map. It's a classic Crucible map. The hunter throws throws that grenade. And then I guess they're frozen, and then after that throws a shuriken that bounces off the wall and crashed into them already frozen.
We're getting to the hunters, but yeah.
Sorry, I'm
excited. Go ahead. Just excited,
so it's interesting that maybe it's like you said, for the balance of PvP, instead of it being an instant freeze, and maybe it's okay, they have to be in that for a while, and then you kind of get into the status. That would be bad. That would be interesting.
So like if you can like play or like, you know, some people come into your rift and try and punch you and you're sitting there. If they try and punch you and it's the wrong rift, they're like, crap.
Yeah. Like that.
Yeah, I think it could take them like halfway to freeze from rift activation. The other thing, so the hunter gameplay that I posted, the combat is the melee override for hunters. It only tracks to frozen targets. If a target isn't frozen, it doesn't ricochet and shit. That was the other thing I noticed.
I was wondering about that because they had the little, in the B-roll, they had the little shanks coming up the stairs and it hit, and I couldn't tell if it tracked or just like went through three of them. It did look like it hit multiple times. But yeah, it was bounce between the two walls. So those two bounces don't even count. Then it still hit the first target and then still killed the second one. I'm like, how many times does this thing get to bounce around? This is not fair. The hunter.
From my understanding, it ricochets between all frozen targets. And it has one natural ricochet.
Damn.
So, okay. I'm getting it. I'm starting
if you
to learn
could slow everything down with a grenade and then just...
Yeah.
Interesting. You see what Pablito Savage said?
Imagine if freeze is like a mechanic where it's applied on a scale. Maybe running over a rift scales that up, eventually leading to being frozen. So what would that almost be like? What is the dark entropy? What's the recent one in Prophecy where you get like a multiplier, and the more that multiplier gets up, say it's like chill level like 1, 2, 3, and then like frozen, it like kind of escalates the debuff on you maybe.
I said it, he's messing with me. Let me shout out. He said, I told you come to listen. I will admit this. As the gaming ninja, I see shurikens. That hunter class might have to get made for this one, man. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, they're like it's feeling very ninja-esque, and you know how I feel about that. So I might have to, create that secondary. Normally I stick to my one warlock group, but I go for hunters looking nice with that. I do like that. And they're ninjas in a way. They're hoods, they're nimble, respect to the hunters. Always got respect for them.
Yeah, Savage is out there saying you could almost use a rift as a trap, potentially. Like have somebody come around the corner, a shotgun, and be like, "Oh, come around the corner, dink," and they're just like stuck in it, or at least slowed.
Recovery builds. I'm making.
Oh God.
I got some high recovery rolled armor just waiting at 1360.
I was actually thinking, like, I know it doesn't the two classes don't go together, but the exotic where you like get the kills and it makes rifts where you get the kills. I know it's like it's solar, so it's not going to transfer over. But in my head, for a second, I was like, I know it won't. But I was like, if you could start using those frozen rifts in like multiple places,
there's the what's the one that is people are close? Yep, talk about it.
Radius.
That's for radius.
What I was thinking is you do damage and seeds at the same time on refactoration. Preach. And they also redid, people forgetting, right, Hop? Sanguine Alchemy. Sanguine Alchemy.
Yes, that got reworked so that when you kill with the rifts, you keep the rifts long. That's going to be interesting. Warlock's going to be a little scary. We got to see the full properties, if that is regular or if that is an exotic-based property. Because it could get scary for y'all if they let us run loose.
It's already going to be scary across the board, but
excited.
Oh man, shotgunners, may have a bad time if everybody starts getting frozen. Like,
come on in 8, come through.
Yeah,
pull up.
Now, one thing New Red did, I wanted to ask you guys because they mentioned this yesterday. I didn't even get to it in my video, but. If you notice on some of the gameplay, it says orbs of power, not orbs of light.
Yes. And
since we have now darkness, is it just like their generic term of orb now is just like an orb of power versus an orb of... that was like a very subtle distinction. Somebody caught, I was like, oh, damn. So what do you guys... Is that like the start of the embracing the darkness?
I think so. I think it's going to stick like that going forward. Orbs of power.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's verbiage to associate with the accepting of this darkness, embracing it. Yeah, so I'm with that.
You want to get my crackpot theory for the next few years?
Absolutely, we love these things. Go down that lower rabbit hole. We are here for it.
So I'm thinking, Witch Queen, we get a second darkness subclass. Lightfall, we get a third darkness subclass, and then we have to choose. Because in the trailer, it says a side must be chosen, whether it's the wrong one or not. So I'm thinking, come Lightfall, we make that choice.
Please tell me we have a Horde and Alliance World of Warcraft. Please. You're preaching to the choir over here, Hop. That sounds so exciting. Because if you had... And can you picture PvP now? Light versus dark? Come on. Oh my God. Pablito. What?
Salute.
Okay, we got to chat. Hold on. Sorry, got to pause and chat. Vagabondo dropping the sub. Outsanity kicking up a notch. And Savage in here just dropping all the love. Thank you guys very much for the support today. You guys are all fantastic. Just damn to all of you. So thank you. Sorry, I had to shout that out. My apologies.
Absolutely. The love is tremendous. Probably dope. Salute everybody. That's what's up, man.
So yeah, Cognito, what do you think? Do you like the idea of having to pick, like only having one side available? Like at some point you can't have like 12 subclasses. So
you can't have 12. Yeah.
But I was like, would you have an issue picking one side or the other? Like I'm a dark guy versus a light, how do you think that would go?
I think it's a cool idea. I think again, when we heard about the initial leaks, what is it? Our good friend Anon the Nine.
Yes.
These were the things they were talking about, right? The light versus, and I think Hop, you nailed it, because if they introduce a darkness subclass, each September, whatever, we're going to get to that point of, like you said, where it's just so many abilities, right? So you're just not going to be able to have all of these things. You're not at once. So I think that, at that point, then it becomes two separate factions, light, dark. These were part of the rumors. Guardians have to choose. And like they're already setting up the verbiage as far as, power, orbs of power versus orbs of light. We're already, I don't know if you guys have been really following the cradle speeches from Eris, but every week, she's saying a little something more about the communication with the darkness, is something to the effect that we're being held back, and there's other things. So this could get really deep lore wise, and it would be cool. It would be cool. I think I wouldn't have no problem with that. I would literally have no problem with that, and to see that, and if they really do what the Anon the Nine said, I don't know if you guys remember that rumor, which the whole PvP versus patrol zones, light and dark kind of thing. Now we're talking. Now we talking. So it'll be fun. What you think, Hoplite?
I think that they may create story distinctions, but for purposes of balance, I think regardless of which side you choose, you can still wield the light of the dark. I think it would be a choice between pyramids and Traveler, but you can use both sides.
Okay.
I feel you.
Because otherwise, like, if the light subclasses are strong and you can't access them, it creates a problem.
True. I can see that.
I guess it just kind of depends. That also depends on balance, I guess, too, to see how much they can get. That's like 3 years away. We are so far away from that right now. But yeah, it is exciting to think of the future of the game. That's kind of one of those things. Some people were like, oh, is the game going to end after Lightfall? Is that the end or is that the beginning? And that's kind of what that question is. Like, does this build up to like an actual D3 at that point or what comes next? So
yeah,
no, that's really exciting stuff. But yeah, you Warlocks are going to kill us all.
Listen, man, Titans still run today, man. You guys flying through the sky, doing all type. Did we get to y'all savages yet?
No.
Are we up to you?
Wow, okay. I'm a savage. Damn, dude. I'm not the one using like throwing hatchets and stuff like that. Come on.
That Hulk thing that wait till we get to y'all.
We can do it right now.
Wait till we go. Let's get to
so
y'all.
We got Behemoth. That's us. I guess we're embracing the big boy standard. It's like, what are you? Are you small and dainty? No, I'm a behemoth. I'm ginormous, apparently. It says crash like an avalanche is the text on it. So from what we can tell, we got 2 things for the Titan. I'm going to embrace this one because this is my class. One, now this is where I wonder, you guys have like a staff that seems to kind of do both, and I'm wondering how much I guess they can do with some sub. I want to know how different this subclass feels to Arc. Because in theory, it looks to function very similar. Because you have a slam, and then you have the roam, but it might be like a punch instead of like a shoulder charge. But you have, I love the effect. It looks like he punched his hand into ice and then just pulled out whatever stuck to his hand. And it's just this like giant white ice fist that looks really cool. That's a really bad graphic if somebody clips that out of context. Sorry.
Woo, sponsorship.
Sorry, dirty mind totally happens.
Let's get it.
But it's got this like awesome white ice fist. But the thing that starts it all, whether it's like whether you cast it or if you're running around and you can still do the roaming slam, is this like kind of cone of the ice little pillars, this little earthquake that comes out of the ground. And it's just like, and it seems to either freeze, damage, both. Kind of similar to the way the Warlocks is like the freeze first, but maybe like a second shot might shatter. It sends out that like wave of energy in front of you. It seems a really cool way. Like if you got somebody in the general direction ahead of you, just take them completely out. And then after that, you still seem to actually run around, punch, freeze, punch. I don't know. What do you guys think about this one? Is it cool? Is it not as cool? What do you guys think about this?
What you think, Hap?
So I think that it's definitely going to have its own utility. It seems almost like a hybrid between Burning Maul and Fist of Havoc. As far as I can tell, the overhead slam is going to be your heavy attack, and the light attack is going to be melees. Interesting thing when their sandbox designer said, the punch with the big ice fist, that is your melee. That is a melee override outside of super.
Wow.
So you pull in the ice around your hand and you hit really hard.
Wow.
Over here,
so that has me excited.
Yeah, I heard that's what I heard somewhere is that like the melee's cooler than anything they've done for the Titan. Is that kind of what you're? Yeah. So I was like, I want to know what that's all about. Bless you.
Excuse me.
What about you, Cognito? Did it look as menacing as a freezing rift crazy warlock, or are you just like it's another Titan running around trying to punch me?
I don't like that. I don't like that wall. I don't like
the grenade or
the wall that y'all constructing.
Hey, the hunter does it too,
bro. You guys are creating Fortnite. This is like a skyscraper.
You might be able to do the same thing. We don't know if the grenades are universal yet. I'm wondering if they are.
What y'all did. And that control point, and this man constructs a whole wall, and then the Titan jump can easily scale that and then come crashing down. And I was like the control that they're gonna have to control different spaces and lock things down. That people don't realize. Barrier is one of the coolest abilities, right? If used correctly. This thing you can't see through it.
Yeah.
That's crazy. It's gonna be, and we'll get to the hunters. What they could do is just scare me as well. But that part, I go for. I was a little shook. I was like, I don't know if I like them with that. I was like, damn Titans, man. That's scary, man. Like that's like, yo, imagine you sniping someone and you be like, yo, stop. You just literally construct a whole sheetrock. Like we put this sheetrock up over here, and You
so
be
just
quiet.
put up a new wall, room separation apparatus,
little drywall. Like what is this?
So what do you think, Hop, about that grenade? What do you think apparently ice wall? I don't know what it's going to be called, but what do you think about that grenade?
So, from PvE perspective, awesome. It looks like it's going to block off huge parts of the map. That's great. As someone who plays PvP competitively, that's going to be an insta-ban. There's no way.
That is so, like, how can you stop that? Like, it is.
Exactly. Basically, you can block off huge portions of the map. So me and you were talking, and we were like, there's no way that's used in scrims.
Oh, come on.
Think about trials.
Gotta mix it up.
Yeah, only in scrims. In trials, it's great. In any of the game mode, it's great.
Just like sweaty scrims, though, you're out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how they're gonna be able to control this. Like, I mean, it's fun, it's exciting.
Could you imagine like 6 Titans just like?
Yeah,
you have the great wall of ice.
Like they're gonna turn into Fortnite, build a goddamn castle.
Titans are Fortnite now. Like literally, you can build structures with Titans.
Hunter throws the thing in the first trailer we saw like a couple months ago. Hunter's the one who throws it in the middle of the map and then hops over it.
Oh no, we gonna get to them. We gonna get.
I was like, they do it too. So I was like,
yeah, trust me. But I am just like, man. Of course, look, we overreacted. We don't know.
It doesn't. I will say it doesn't seem to have that much health. Like when they throw it in front of the enemies, it seems to already lose 1 brick. He hits it with 1 arrow, and that thing busts. It goes. So it doesn't look like it's going to have a lot of health. It may be that like in a pinch, throw it, run by as it's kind of like dying behind you type of thing. But it may not have as much. It's ice. It may take 1 bullet to shatter. It may not take that long. But the visual break of at least throw it, and you don't know where they are. You could still like, oh, I need to get by this doorway, but somebody's got me hard scoped. Well, now I can. Like that's the potential to at least flank, change mobility, move positions, that type of stuff is where I think it's got at least potential to get out of a crappy situation.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, if it's fragile, then we're good.
Yeah,
if it's like a few bullets, so it'll just take it out. Then
yeah, if you could spray like if 1 pulse burst, and it does go in chunks because like when they have the one in front of the enemies, you have like 4 or 5 chunks. It's like 1 chunk fell, and there's 3 on the left and 1 on the right, so it can break in pieces, which is also really cool.
You know what I can't wait to do with these though?
What?
So I can't wait in the Crucible to throw a grenade up, fly or jump on top of it, and just hang over doorways on a platform.
Oh my god!
I can picture that. The map that they used in the trailer, just have that above point B. Somebody walks in, hey, and you're like, sup, bam.
Bam. This could get crazy. Oh man, this oh, man. And then what about it? Think about this, Titans, your exotic synergy with this stuff.
Okay, hit me an example. What do you think?
Is it? What about? Doesn't that one? All right, first of all, let's classify. Are they classifing this wall thing as a grenade or a class?
It's definitely a grenade. It's thrown and then appears. It's definitely a grenade.
So then switch color.
Yeah, it's not the Titan barricade. That's different.
I was nervous. I was like, if they had that type of, but the other one though, Armentarium, it's gonna be, bro. Like that's gonna be. It's gonna. Yep. Crystal knows. Yep. Armentarium's gonna be scary. You giving these guys grenades, running around, being able to do their Fortnite business and construct structures. It's gonna be something, man. And a whole bunch of Titans getting together. It's Camp Central. It's gonna be.
It would be so fun if you had like a bunch of Titans with Armentarium. You could literally like slowly like wall a team in. If anybody jumps up, they're just like it's like duck hunt, just target practice. So you like lock everybody in a point, and they're like stuck in there, and then they try and jump up, and everybody's like. Brr.
I'm just picturing Control. Like, who's gonna stop them from capping B?
Oh,
if you got 4 Titans.
You only need 2 Titans with Armentarium. Just wall. Just you got.
B is captured.
Yep.
Release the wolves.
It's got a lot of potential.
I reserve a judgment until it comes. I got to tease you because you always give me crap about Warlock's got that. This is scary stuff.
Yeah,
bro.
but if you have it too, you have no argument. If these grenades are universal, you don't know if you do.
I've only seen your classic.
You've seen the hunter use it too.
No, he using it as a platforming, jumping ability thing.
No, the hunter uses it in the same exact fashion.
In the gameplay that
He can build a wall like that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Same exact way. It was the trailer 2 months ago, and it's when they're in the middle of, it used to be Widow's Court, if I don't know if it's the same, it's not called the same thing. It's in the middle of that open space, like the big open courtyard. He's running through it, throws it down, and then jumps over it. Do you not remember this from like 2 months ago?
I don't remember it being, I think what it is I don't remember the height of it.
Oh, it's huge because he's got to like double to get over.
And it was a hunter?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, when you get a chance later, show me offline the trailer. I just don't remember a hunter doing it.
Yes.
I'm not saying a lot.
No, that's the other piece too, is like, that's why I keep wondering if the grenades are universal. Like, no. Because you got multiple classes and they kind of describe a couple. So, Titan, punchy, of course. We got the cone of shockwave, earthquake, avalanche flying forward. And then, of course, crazy wall. Now the hunter.
Yes.
In case we weren't terrified enough about each other. All of these revenants have to come in here. Ares is out here just grinning like an idiot. I know you are. You're out there somewhere. I see you. Who wants to take this one? Because we got this super called Silence and Squall, and I haven't heard a better fitting name after you watch what it does. Hop, you know what I'm talking about? You want to talk about their super?
The super itself looks good without being broken per se. It's essentially like a blade barrage that freezes instead of doing damage.
And then the after effects?
I have the utility for CC. I think it's not going to be that much more effective than Tether. Except when you factor in the other abilities, like the thrown melee that ricochets off everything.
Yes.
Then it's going to start.
Yeah, if you can freeze and then get a couple, I mean, what's the double melee or like double throwing star or something like that? But the other piece is like this like ice tornado. You guys notice that?
Yes. That remains. Yeah.
And it seems to like move. Yeah, it like tracks either towards enemies, because I know there's the one you see like the couple of X in the can't think of the Minotaur. It like slowly drifts over to him and just like wipes him out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one looks crazy. And then there's the other one. It's like in his periphery when it starts the other two times during the B-roll gameplay. He like throws the two axes, they hit, and then it kind of starts over here. And the second one, when he's in what looks to be like Deep Stone Crypt or more of that like kind of fallen area. The one with the can't even think of it. The shanks coming up the stairs. If you watch, it looks over there, and before the ice wall appears, you can see it like coming towards the enemies, like down the stairs. So if that thing can actually freeze and then track to take out enemies, that seems kind of also a little terrifying too.
Yes. It seems to be the theme with Stasis.
Scary to fight against, great to use.
Yeah, great to use, terrifying to face.
Particularly this looks like it's going to be situational, so it's going to be great in PvE.
Yes.
In PvP, you might use it a few times here and there.
I hear you.
Hunters are strong in PvP, so if they get some more support or PvE help, probably okay with that. They have enough things to kill me in PvP, so it's totally fine. But yeah, the melee, the thing that bounces the 3-sided shuriken, that one seems. Sorry, does it actually have a name? Am I calling it the wrong thing?
Oh yeah, it's referred to as a Kama.
Kama? Okay.
Yeah, Kama.
Gotcha. So the Kama, the ice, or see, that's the thing. I keep saying ice. I can't tell you how many times I'm going to get ice and stasis and frozen, all interchangeably broken. But the frozen Kama, 2 bounces and still 2 enemies. And I'm just like, I want to know in a very close quarters PvP map how bad that's going to be. Now, if you say it tracks to frozen enemies, that will help some. But if it tracks just to enemies, just bounce that off a corner and you can have a lot of fun. Like I could picture some, because they do their cosmic ice. I saw that last night on DCP.
Yeah.
Cosmic ice, frozen, whatever. Just do you guys think the melee seems like pretty cool? Do you think it'll be if it's like tracking just a frozen versus if it tracks everything? I'm kind of curious how much that thing's actually got potential for.
Yeah. I don't know. It feels, again, I'm just guessing, synergistic with or, the frozen stuff. I think it would be extremely powerful if it did outside of that. But, I'm excited for that Hunter Shuriken, that tracking thing. And again, it feels like a 2-phase mechanic, freeze, shatter, shatter, that kind of thing. So, it's cool, man. I think Hop said it best. Like, I think in PvE, now that we get more information, this thing's going to be powerful. There's all of these abilities are going to be super powerful. I do think in PvP, I think it may not be as strong. Maybe we're seeing the visual and we may be overreacting, and it may not be as crazy as we think, right? I'm leaning towards Hop now. She's calming me down, like a little relax. Because when you see that, it's just so jarring to see a golden gun hunter stopped in its tracks, like just very disrespectfully. It's like, wow, like I've never seen this type of stuff before. And then you see them, at the point B on that classic Crucible map, and the Titan unfreeze the area, and then here comes the Warlock shattering everyone, and I'm just like, very, very, very intimidating prospects here.
So somebody remember in one of our favorite examples of this is the Last Word trailer, where someone took the last word and 4-tapped a Dawn Blade, which obviously you can't do with the actual gun. I think that a lot of these Stasis teasers are like that. Okay.
A little over the top.
Yeah, they kind of soften up the target first.
Okay. Well, we see it. It makes sense. It could very well be, not as crazy in PvP. And for balance purposes, let's be real, that would be a little bit more fair, in that sandbox.
But if you combine, like when the Titan slams and the Warlock comes in and goes boom, at the end of PvP, the team.
Yeah, it's going to be strong.
Team synergy is going to be fire. Like that's going to be
Control is going to be a mess.
Yes.
Clash, like everybody's running around, Trials, everybody's like pretty orchestrated and smart about their stuff, but Control just blueberries on control points. I see bad news written all over that. Especially if you just like running together and be like, everybody's on B, frozen, shattered, 6-person kill. Oh crap. People are going to be getting some very fun medals, I think, out of this stuff as well.
Oh yeah. It's gonna be, like I said, I can't wait for mayhem. Can't wait for certain little modes and the key is gonna be the competitive scene. How do these things play out in comp? How does it play out in Trials? What messy combinations people come up with? Like, that's where it's gonna get interesting.
Yeah. I don't know. PvP, the sandbox definitely is about to get probably the biggest shakeup it's had in ever, maybe.
Speaking of which, do we want to touch rumors of sandbox reasoning behind sandbox shakeups?
Maybe not.
Okay.
Maybe if we do, we'll do it.
Oh, damn. Put the business out. Damn. We tried to be discreet. I was like, yeah, you mean such and such and such? Damn, Hop. Damn.
I mean, it's not like it's taboo to talk about.
I know it's not, but I like to respect E because I know E sometimes is sensitive towards talking about stuff.
Yeah,
my co-host. I don't want to put him in any position.
So apparently, what's the cat's out of the bag? What'd you say? I'm sorry. Can you say it clearly? Can you say it clearly for the people outside? We didn't quite catch it. Please. What's happening?
Yes, Hop. What's happening?
I think I'll leave that to you.
She backed away. She backed away now. She backed away. Look, chat, it's up to y'all. I mean, it's up to E. I'll respect. I just thought, like I said, can I talk discreetly?
Okay, so basically, I guess the idea is we know the Destiny Vault, Content Vault is coming. We know things are being putting in there. I guess the idea is there seems to be been discussion is the best vague way I can say it. The reason for the vault there may be more reasons for the vault than we expect.
Right.
Is that the best way I can phrase that without totally butchering it all?
Bro, the feds ain't listening. We good. So the whole thing.
The feds ain't listening.
We good,
they're
man.
they're like out there like, just wait.
Just talk.
Cups on the door right now. They're waiting.
So yeah, the consensus, was that there's a possibility that the vault, has a secondary purpose, and the secondary purpose is Streets is watching. Y'all stupid in the chat, but it's like the purpose being not just because the what was told to us was space, right? This game's getting big.
Call of Duty is the one. I will definitely say Call of Duty is the one thing. Now, granted, they can just be Call of Duty and be like, I don't care, you're going to make it work. But Call of Duty is twice the size of Destiny. It's 165 gig, potentially what they had, it could be bigger.
Right.
It's not a small game, and Destiny is not that big. Now, space for them to manage like bugs and number of areas and things, it's a different type of game. That would have been more the valid argument. But if you're talking about like hard drive space, that's just a preference of what game you play. But it's always been one of those that has always kind of been a question to me, as opposed to if they were like, now when they say the debugging and testing weapons in 1,200 different places takes so long and testing is so much slower because we have all these spaces, that was the piece that always made sense to me.
Right.
But we have kind of another possible reason.
Yeah, thought process. So basically, for those that don't know, that's in the chat, the thought process is now that instead of it just being a space issue, whereas, we always complain, why things take so long to fix, this is so buggy, what's going on? And that there is another thought process that actually when these things are vaulted, that they are actually being rebuilt engine-wise, thus them not having the need for a Destiny 3. Because when these things go away, the thought process is that they will be reworked completely, then brought back, and then that's the new engine, so to speak.
We literally speculated about this before. You and I have talked about this like verbatim. So if this is something that's actually happening, we technically talked about it, just maybe with a little less credence to it.
So we're good. We're just talking generally because we don't want to pick a side on the community. Obviously, it's split on the information and how it was dispersed. But the issue is, like E said, perfect. We've talked about this. Last word was ahead of the game. I'm just like, we've talked.
There's that voice again. God.
We talked about Tiger Engine before everybody talked about Tiger Engine. That's my man right there. So anyway, we're good. So at the end of the day, plausible, did I get the event was funny. So at the end of the day, I think if the rumors are true,
muffs.
If the rumors are true, this is dope. This now resolves the issue that we always had, that the engine needs to be updated. Why don't y'all fix right? Now, this is actually the result of it. And from what we're hearing, it could come back quicker than we think. Might not be as long. And shout out to Paul Tassi, which I could talk about. This is public information. Paul Tassi. We got to treat it like lawyers. I'm like,
we got to get you in on this in a second. Let's just don't want him to finish the sentence.
So public information. Paul Tassi has an article right now discussing it. And like everybody has their theories in reference to it in this whole thing. And I think if all this is true, this is cool. And we get to revitalize this game. But I'm gonna pass it over to Hop. What you thinking now that all this potential stuff is out in the universe?
It's definitely no longer in the ether. It's real. So
yes.
What do you think, Hop?
It depends on how accurate the information is. A lot can change in a year, right? So this could be an old philosophy.
Cool.
But no longer applies. We just don't know until they officially say something.
Valid point. I
will say, when they're thinking about, at some point, whether that's the jokes about spaghetti code, whether Bungie said it or whatever, there's a lot of things that happen when you switch weapons, but your projectile is still affected by the weapon you're not even equipped right now. There's some things in the game that obviously people have seen, the way they break the game, stuff of that nature. When they look at stuff like crossplay, talking across systems and platforms, the better their code base is, the better off like the whole game's going to be. So if they do need time to, rework stuff. If it is happening, maybe they're starting on a smaller scale of reworking. As we joked, like if you have to rework the whole game or half the game. Okay, it's a lot easier to work on half the game. One new destination, make it a little more manageable size. If there's any credence to this at all, like if it's valid, even partially, it makes sense for the future. They're going for full cross-play across all platforms, smoothing out the code, making everything work a little bit better together. I think it's got potential, and it's one thing that, whether it's like completely because of these reasons, it's probably something they feel like they may have to do no matter what. The vault just may be part of it. We just don't know all of it.
Right. And one last point I want to add on to what you're saying is that one thing that we saw when we did the 12 last word, one thing we did say was like, man, that's a lot of content we're losing, right? Man, that's a lot of strikes we're losing. So if it is, true, then these things are getting reworked. It would make sense. It would make sense because you've got to take a lot of chunks out. You've got to. I mean, even the some of the missions and the special missions and the forges. We were like, why is that going? That kind of stuff. And all of this could potentially, be reworked. And in that regard, I would have no problem. So basically, the theory is that Beyond Light, in a sense, is D3 in a sense. With that, because this new, let's be real, this new stuff looks sandbox changing. We have to. Stasis looks like it. This is looking like they are really going all out as far as affecting and manipulating the environment. So I didn't think this was possible with the current thing. If you told me if you'd have showed me Stasis, I'd be like, how are they going to implement that? But now, if we take this theory into effect, and let's just say this is the newer version of said engine, right? And newer tools that allow them to freeze and do all this crazy Fortnite walls and all this kind of stuff. It kind of makes sense. But we'll see. This is what you thinking, Hopper. I heard you chirping. Like, you thinking that possibly maybe Beyond Light is a newer version of the engine?
As I tend to say with a lot of things in dev, it's too early to speculate. I was Googling when you said Fortnite walls because it just brought it back. The building concept is fascinating, but I think it is true that the capability has changed. If you look at the Warmind live event when the Almighty, and not the Almighty crash, right? They couldn't have done that a year ago. So it shows that their systems are evolving.
Valid. Absolutely valid. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
That's actually,
and that's the first time they tried that. And
yes, at the time they said we are testing new technology. I know we're working out the kinks, but you're right. And it could set up potential for a lot more things. This is interesting. It's very, like I said, like Hop, you said it best. We're all speculating here. Things could change. We don't know for sure. Right. But at the end of the day, if true, this is very exciting. And this definitely, quells my little anxieties about having a new number at the end of Destiny when these things could potentially be implemented if true.
I mean, that's kind of what we almost have to think about. This is a soft D3. Because, I mean, what would happen if we got a D3? You'd wipe the slate completely clean. If we got a new numbered game, buy a new game, everybody starts fresh. So we're keeping some stuff, but we're bringing, some stuff forward, but we're starting new things, new abilities. It's like a soft D3. So if they got to, in a sense, purge half the game to get to a point where this is like where we're going to go from a, place moving forward, kind of makes sense.
Yeah, like soft D3 vanilla, right? Like things expand later on, and it kind of adds up. There's some tea leaves that do kind of add up with it. So
now the other question I want to get Red Eye, he was asking, this is one I've thought about too. When is the point where they leave past gen consoles behind? How far? We got Witch Queen, we got Lightfall. How far do they go before they embrace next gen? And as we've talked about before, like the Destiny map specifically, drive through your little cave, unload the area behind you, load the next. I mean, those are loading zones just disguised as like drive-through zones. When is the point where it's like, is it a true like post Lightfall, light versus dark? That way they can build a game that uses the new SSDs. And that point, when do you guys see them embracing like okay, old consoles we're not updating anymore, or is it just the number that does it? Because what was it, Rise of Iron? They left something behind, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Rise of Iron, they left behind 360 and PS3.
Yes, that's a good point. I'll jump in. I think honestly they could do it. I want to say anytime they want, but I think they have a lot of control. My guess is this is going to be a pure financial business decision, and it's going to mirror once the next generation population base is up to snuff to then make the break. Because right now we're still in that cross-generational period. There's still way too many more people with PS4s and Xbox Ones. So they're waiting for the adoption rate to raise up, right? And then once that goes up and you have that line, then most of the community has transferred over. And let's be real, Bungie, they all about their metrics. They know who's playing what, how's playing what. So I think that, maybe by Witch Queen, by then the numbers are there. I think it will be a situation like, I think, Hop, you're completely right. I think it will be another September/November-y expansion time. They tend to do their biggest, migration, so to speak, during those type of moments. So I think if it's not Witch Queen, definitely by the next one, it will be, which will be what, 2022?
Lightfall.
It's got to be out of there. I think at that point, they just cannot continue to justify supporting the old one and then really take this engine to the next level, especially if the intention is not to put a number on it so fast, because they keep implying, we're going to be here for a while with D2. But what do you think, Hop?
I think that the intent is more than likely to keep going with D2. Although technical limitations may hold them back. I think Lightfall is when we're going to see them shed the old generation of consoles.
Music to my ears. Love it. Keep preaching.
So, Dan was saying something, especially since it's free. D2 is free right now. If they do a D3, that probably wouldn't start free, would it? Because the free content's their way to bring new people in after it's been out for a little while.
That's why I'm saying I don't think that they're going to go to a D3.
Yeah.
Because you already have an existing platform, right?
Yeah.
So I think that they're going to adopt the WoW model. Keep the graphics, keep the assets looking the same, and just keep going with it.
Hey, I don't mind. As long as they get rid of that common denominator, the lowest common denominator, I'm fine.
Yeah.
As long as certain consoles get their walking papers, I'm fine. You can keep the number doesn't mean anything to me unless certain people is not allowed in the club anymore. Let me stop.
Oh man, yeah, it could say D, not 1, 2, 3.
whatever.
It doesn't matter as long as it looks pretty.
As long as that OG base Xbox One VCR and that PlayStation 4 base, we gotta have a cutoff point at some point. So, what about you, E? What are you thinking?
I mean, it's one of those where we've talked enough about the idea of if they're held back by technical limitations of old gen or anything like that. However, they have to make that switch to get to make Destiny a next generation style game, whether it's map design, whether it's number of enemies, whether it's AI programming because they can use the new CPUs, whatever all those pieces are, whether they put a 2, a 3, a 1, a Destiny with a colon and an expiration, I don't care. I just don't want them to hang too long on the old stuff because, if it's 3 or 4 years later and it still feels like Destiny with here's the map, here's your drive-through zone, to load the next area. True, more open world has a lot of potential, and I can't wait for them to embrace it. So the faster they do that, the better for my happiness. Just to evolve the game. I just don't know if, here's Europa, here's this zone, drive through this little ice canyon, here's this one, go through this cave. And if it's just here's a big giant open sheet of ice, you can drive over here, and there's no obvious in between loading zones and it feels different. That's what I look forward to, or at least hope at some point is happening. But again, those are more dreams at this point until we see how things run.
I'm with you, bro. I'm with you, man.
It's going to take a while for all these developers to actually start using the SSDs and the consoles and actually build stuff that's fully into it. So it'll be some time. Now, what do you guys think on next gen you're looking forward to the most, whether it be higher frame rates if you play on console? That's all it was. It's just the giant grin. If they implement ray tracing into Destiny 2, what that would look like. What next is, if you guys are on an OG Xbox or PS4, how about those loading times? Like, what do you think people are going to be probably either the most surprised by or kind of enjoy the most?
Think Hop.
Think the loading times, of course, that has been a huge barrier to entry or barrier to enjoying the game fully on console. Secondarily, though, I think it really opens the field in terms of what they can design. I think they're going to have more options with the higher power that these new consoles provide.
Yeah. I mean, NVMe, brother. NVMe. You showed me the light. I talked to offline. I was talking to the fire team chat, and we were all talking about, just as far as like how we're planning for Beyond Light. And, shout out to Trap. I mean, he was like, look, I'm on X. He was like, I'm still in the mud at 30 frames. And he's just like, I'm like, brother, when you get that 60 and you get that NVMe, because Dustin was like, yeah, I left him. I went over to PC. And I said, Dustin, I feel you. You know what I mean? So I said, I literally said it right in his face. I said, I blame Ibantis for my bouginess. I said, if it wasn't for him, I would have never had my pinky in the air. I would have never been this way.
Yeah,
I left my 80% of my clan, and I had no problems doing it. Because I said, until you understand the finer thing, I have my callus cup. Until you understand this field of view and this 60 frames and this NVMe, like it was so bad. Black Wings, I'm sorry, brother. I know you're in that OG VCR. I know, but here's the thing.
That's even harsh because the VCR is dating it that much more. It's like a double. It's like a double shot. Like, oh, you got the OG Xbox VCR.
I was like this over. I was like this over a PC. I was like, man, until you get that loaded speed. Man, it's beautiful, man. You just can't go back. You just want the finer things. So just have my console brothers finally get that. It is such a quality of life improvement. Like you have no idea. I remember just being in orbit hop, right? I would go to the fridge, get sandwiches. I would go take a bathroom break. And I still ain't loaded into the map yet on console, right? But now with all of this stuff, and then now you're talking ray trace, man, it's going to be transformative. Destiny's going to feel like a new game to these people. For us, we've been living the good life. We've been drinking. We had our caviar. We good. But for them, woo, man, Black Report went out for Cox don't mean that. Hey, man, I got to talk about it. Man. But it's going to be fun. Like all jokes aside. Really fun to have this tech for the masses, like super fun. Mm-hmm. Salute the clown. Oh, Clown's my brother, man. Clowns don't even like Destiny, so to have Clowns in here, salute Clowns. You got no excuse, man. It's you're on Xbox. It's free 99, brother. Come join up. We got room in the clan for your Clowns. You could put Division down because ain't no contact. But
it seems like you're literally clowning him right now, but that's just his name.
That's my guy. Well, yeah, Clowns is my guy. I love Clowns, man. That's my guy right there. Good dude, really good dude in the community.
So, Hop, how long have you been on PC from Xbox? When did you make that switch, or have you been on PC since? Okay, wow. How did that feel? Because that's actually fairly recent.
Mm-hmm.
It took a little bit to get accustomed to, but now I am at a competitive level on PC. Where I'm still not there on controller. Like with MNK, I'm just dramatically better than I am on controller.
Oh, so you advise people that typically use controller, they might want to check out MNK?
They each have their advantages. Try both, see what's more comfortable, and then master that.
Fair enough.
I like the PC answer.
Well, the reason that I'm giving a moderate answer is because Destiny... How can I put this without being... Destiny cheats for you on both inputs.
Yes.
And it cheats for you in different ways.
Yes.
So you have to see which one fits best for you.
No,
Okay.
that's 100% like the idea of like aim assist and bullet magnetism and all that stuff. That is a lot of behind the scenes work, unless you get into the nitty gritty, like the Mercules and spreadsheets and details and like all the testing and stuff. A lot of people don't know and they just go by feel. So I mean, that makes perfect sense. I was just giving Cognito a hard time.
I know he loved your answer. That's what this was.
Oh no, believe me, I've had people on the podcast. I'm the only one over here on mouse and keyboard. I'm like, you guys have fun.
Yeah, I've been lucky that the guests we've had at the campfire have been, I think, a little bit more controller based. But the reality is that the majority of PC Destiny players are playing MK. So
yeah, I mean, it's a natural setup. There's certain games like Ghost of Tsushima, I was playing Mortal Shell. Those are going to be on controller, no question, just the way I have access to a lot of inputs in one hand. But the dexterity of a mouse for aiming for me has still always been... I've been doing first-person shooters on PC since my PC could barely function, like so many years ago. So it's a normal thing to me. But to switch, like if you've just been first-person on console for so long, it's a drastic change, and it may like be detrimental for a while.
Absolutely.
But if you made the switch in a year though, and now you're at a competitive level, that's solid. You've been definitely putting in the work.
To be fair though, so I was competitive in Overwatch on PC before that.
Okay, now
So
you're
this
just
is
cheating.
my first time using MK. This is moving to MK for Destiny.
Ah, so you've got some skills on it already. I see.
Yeah, she flexing.
And be like, yeah, I'm just, how many Fallout crowns you got as well? Just start gonna like you lining them up over there on a shelf.
Well, like Fall Guys.
Fall Guys crowns, yeah.
None. So I've been having my own Tim the Tapman situation where I'm like almost level 20, and I have not won a single match.
How you have like decent amount of final rounds? Just can't put. Have you been like inches away, or is it just like not coming together yet?
Inches.
Oh,
I can get to the final round almost consistently, but I can't win.
Oh, that's even worse if you've been there that many times. Which one do you like the most for the end? Like, there's the hexagon jumping I've seen. There's like the mountain you climb. What is your like? What's the struggle? What's the hardest struggle to end on?
Fall Mountain is a pain in the ass because even though I have a perfect route, a bunch of other people have it too.
Yeah.
So it's like kind of if you run one route, you're perfect. You're set for the entire thing. Hexagon is my favorite. For sure.
Okay.
That one I would say is the most like platform skill. Can you time the jumps? Can you be persistent enough to make it through? But if you're on that top level and you do something and you miss one, you're like you miss like eight floors later on. You're like
jump wait for it to move.
Oh yeah, that game was so fun to watch. I gotta start playing it. The fun I see you guys having, it's just.
Did you see the season 2? It looks like absolute chaos because instead of like running through doors, now as an uncoordinated group, you have to like push these objects up to get and hop over the wall. Oh, there's so many more things you have to like move as a group. I was like, oh, it's gonna be so much worse.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's gonna be a nightmare. It's chaos fun. You can't take it too seriously, but yeah, the Tim the Tapman thing was hilarious to watch. That was. And I will say, the guy who runs the Fall Guys Twitter, guy or girl, whoever it is, they are on fire.
So talented. He is such a talented community manager.
Oh, absolutely. Just out of nowhere, just absolutely crushing. I think he had like a couple rough days, but when they embraced it, oh, so good. There was one point they were saying, hey, you could play against some bots and then maybe you could win. I think when they were giving Tim the Tapman some hell. Oh, it was so brutal. But yeah, good. I was like, they're taking after the Wendy's community manager. If you guys have ever seen Wendy's on Twitter, oh my God, they will roast everyone and everything and not give two craps about it. It's so good.
The community manager was a YouTuber prior to coming to do this, so he has a little bit of experience of working a crowd, building a community.
Nice.
Etc.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, but yeah, it's kind of a nice like breath if you're playing something heavy, just to be like bing, bing, ding, just like get into crazy jumping beam mode. So,
That's right.
But yeah, I feel like we have, so it's these weird days, like, oh, we get this huge trailer, all this stuff, and we like we have this weird thing about this podcast. There could be nothing happen, and we'll go off on these tangents for like 2.5 hours. And then I feel like as we wrap this one up, we're like not even 2 hours in, and it was like, feel like we went in depth on the characters, talked about all, it's so weird.
Oh, it's so weird. Like the shows where we sit there, we actually will say, the old joke was, because we were called Flashpoint before Hop, right? So the joke was like, oh, it ain't gonna be a flashpoint. It's gonna be a long point because we're gonna be talking. It's gonna be like, and then like those shows, we tend to like boom, 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 and we're like, wow, we finished kind of quickly on time. And then the shows where we like, yo, there's nothing going on. What are we gonna talk about? Those will have like the most in-depth, deep conversation, and it goes long, and we're just like. We have this weird synergy like that. It's fun, like that. It's hilarious to see sometimes. It's kind of funny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like shout out to Durag. He said like last time it was the food tangent. Like, literally came out of nowhere. Shout out to Gavin.
Half hour talking about food, my picky eating, which we don't need to bring up again. Okay, quick discussion. Got to know where you fall. Cognito and I are not going to say anything. Hawk Moon is supposed to be coming back. I almost made him spit out his coffee. Oh yeah, we did. That's right. Yeah, we did. So.
Yeah, so as I said, with Chad and here,
yep.
If they do Hawkman well, if it's a good weapon, I'm happy with it. If they fuck it up, I'm not gonna enjoy it. It's very simple. It's like, if you're gonna bring it back, do it right. If you don't, I'm upset.
I love it. Simple, plain.
Simple, plain. Pressure's on, Luke. Make Hawk Moon fun.
Yeah, just don't F it up, and Hawk Moon's happy about it. That's the key. For the other weapons, though, did you guys see kind of the red and blue aesthetic on some of the weapons? Yeah. Getting a feel for those. Do you guys like the way those look? They're definitely unique.
I'm getting new kind of vibes. I'm getting kind of, I'm hearing what Clovis or something. I don't know. I'm hearing, liking it, a little red. You know what it reminds me of? Remember, was
it like palindrome? Like
Super Soaker?
See, we always.
She says a Super Soaker. That's better, by the way. Super Soaker, I picture is like white with like a green handle, like yellow bucket. But yeah, the palindrome. It was like the old, like D1 Crucible weapons for one of those years was like completely that color for sure.
Going to that vendor in the tower, the old tower, where you would go to Shax's robotic handler and he'd have palindrome and all those other little guns that had that kind of shader and that art style. It was like kind of like a blue and what is it? What's the other color? Are we going to say that's like not a red? What is it? What's the combo with palindrome? What was the color combo?
I feel like it was kind of that almost.
It was blue and orange.
Like orange, yeah, almost.
Yeah, so the closest to this that you had was Destiny 1 Year One's Crucible vendor gear. Was this red and blue?
I agree.
Well, they stand out for sure because you have like the dark armor with like the little neon visor lights, and then on the dark armor they're holding these like bright blue and red weapons. They look fairly cool. All of them look quite unique. I've got to be kind of curious. I know we saw one pulse. One looks like a giant rocket launcher, possibly a sidearm. I'm still committed to the first thing we saw as we saw it again as a shotgun, since it's the only thing that would have that big of a barrel. Overall, they look pretty cool. Now, obviously, they show us 5 weapons. We have so many things leaving the game and sunsetting for effectiveness. Like, you go Void Bow. Don't have one of those. The Subtle Calamity is going away, outside of, obviously, Layman Arc. But I'm very curious how big the arsenal comes with Beyond Light, because this is the first time we're really getting sunsetting for in-game stuff. If there's not, say, like a Void Bow, it's like literally an archetype that doesn't exist for in-game. So if you want to if you want to use a bow in Nightfalls and you need a Void, you can't. So I'm kind of curious how they fill some of the holes with what's going to be usable in in-game activities. If they hit them all, or they're just like, all right, now we'll get to them later. I'm very curious.
I think this is where your sunsetting actually has an advantage, because they can now look at the archetypes, as a whole, and fill in what they need to kind of bring in to even out, what's deficient. So yeah, I'm not actually worried about this. I actually think that in this case that they we'll introduce a bunch of legendaries that are going to, fill that spot. And also, I know they're going to be sneaky. This is my other theory, is that a lot of the weapons that I don't want to say were broken, but were problematic, right? For example, Mountaintop, we know, and stuff like that for them. And now we're getting, what's the energy one that's kind of out right now? That's like a Mountaintop.
Beloved.
Exactly. So I think this is where they kind of will introduce similar things, newer foundry, new weapon thing, but not as potent. This is a way of sandbox balancing in a way. Yeah. You can bring it back, but just introduce it in a way that they know that they were a little bit too out of control and stuff like that. But
I'm also kind of hoping it takes the way they build the encounters over stuff that's not as OP, having to deal with like your mountaintops and quick reloads and then anarchies on top of mountaintops. Like the amount of damage that sometimes people can output gets to be crazy. And if that stuff's not viable in the end game, they've got a way to balance encounters to a different level, which I'm very curious to see how that feels.
Yeah, absolutely. Fun time.
I mean, for a while, Recluse, Mountaintop, Anarchy, like that's so much of in-game stuff.
That was the loadout.
So back to those destination weapons. Do you think that, or back to the red and blue weapons?
Yep.
My question is, do you think they're destination weapons, or do you think they're from an activity?
Ooh, good question.
Because they have a different aesthetic than the armor. So it's possible. But they might be from like some sort of public event or some sort of activity that exists on your robot.
I was like, my thoughts on the color scheme, I don't think they would show the raid weapons yet. But the Deep Stone Crypt,
I definitely don't think raid.
Yeah, I was like, I don't think they're raid, but they do, like the Deep Stone Crypt has the reds and like the blue lights and it has that tonal look to it. So while it looks like it may go in there, I definitely don't think they're showing them. I don't know. I wish there would be
like escalation protocol type thing.
Yep, that's what I was about. Like Altars of Sorrow, like if they have like a set that comes from an activity like that, that'd be awesome. I really hope they do that more because we only got like 3 from Altars of Sorrow in that kind of rotation. I'd love to see like a full set that comes from something like that. That'd be cool. I'd really like to see that actually.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is fun. This is a fun time. I'm excited. And the cool thing about it, Hop and E, I love is that right now, let's be honest, it's a slow time, right? But that laugh. Don't tell us how you really feel, E. That laugh, Jesus. But he's like, so at the end of the day, what's cool is I love the fact that I'll be honest, I didn't think we were going to be getting, these content drops, these informational pieces. So now to get us, each segment of the way as we get closer to November, that's going to ease the pain of things not being around to do in the game. But I will say this, that last 12 definitely set the fire on me. I got to get stuff done. I got to get a couple of catalysts finished. I got to get things done because there's something I need and I cannot not be without or not knowing the fate of when they're going to return. So yeah, I'm on my sleeper grind. I'm going to be on my raid stuff, getting stuff done. So we got time, but it's cool now. We get in, they're giving us release dates like, yo, you're going to get the Titan this day. You're going to get I like that, So it's exciting, man. This is the fun part of Destiny. And I like to see, like I said it on 5T chat, they really knocked it out the park with the marketing and kudos to them. Because if the rumors are true, looking at Stasis is exciting. I like them getting this crazy, like this, regardless of if it's broken or not. We love it. We've been saying they're too stale. Like, this is fun stuff. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying what I'm seeing.
I'm very curious what the stasis shields look like on enemies.
The stasis what?
Like, because we're going to have stasis weapons, which we haven't even seen yet. But if you have stasis as an element, unless it just functions in a very different way, there's also going to be enemies, like potentially some of the Fallen, that have like a stasis shield that we have to break with stasis weapons.
So if you went to the Titan gameplay from the B-roll, it shows one of those stasis shields. It's like a whitish blue.
Okay. Yeah. I was curious how much it would be distinct from like the Arc shield right now. I guess I gotta go back.
Definitely doesn't look like Arc.
Okay, cool.
It looks the color of snow, pretty
Nice.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah, so all these little elements, now that's one of those things too. You go into a Nightfall, it's like, how many shields can they put in there? Because now we got 4 different types. You can't hit them all. You even with your subclass and stuff in Osmosis, I think is the one I'm thinking of. Yeah, for
Osmosis.
yeah. You definitely can't hit them all. So I'll be curious, like, how crazy some of these encounters get. So it's a lot to be excited for. It's also, it is, as you said, it feels like it's a long ways away because I know I chuckled. Yeah, it's not, it happened. But I mean, that's one of those things. It works now because I am kind of dabbling in some other stuff because we do have this downtime. But it's also when you remind of like all these catalysts and stuff that you got to do. I'm like, I can't like dabble in other stuff too long because I'm going to lose that window. Because there's, if you go through that checklist, unless you're just like, you know, completionist and you're already done. But if you have a decent list of stuff to do, some of it's going to take like World Line 0. If you haven't started that, that's 5 weeks. I mean, if you're looking for your Outbreak perfected, it's 3. So, I mean, there's certain ones that are just time. Whisper of the Worm, if you want the ship. That's going to be another set of weeks. So, like, there's some stuff, if you wait to, like, hey, I got to crunch this in the last week, you're out. So, some of the stuff you got to start sooner than later because just the number of weekly rotations to go through is not going to be there. Now, they did say a couple little patch notes as well, just to cover with you guys, just because most of it was about Beyond Light, talking about all that stuff. But they did say a couple patch notes. They said the ornamental glows, they said they didn't like live up to what was advertised. They're looking at revisiting those in a patch that's going to come on September 8th, which is good. And I think that's the end of the event. So you might have to commit to buy them before you actually get to see what they look like in game, which is kind of an odd date thing. So the promise is there. Hopefully they say they should live up to more of what they look like, which is good. I even had like my white glow on like my Warlock gauntlets, full super. It was just like the white vein, no glow coming out of the wrist. And I looked at a couple different classes. There were pieces that had nothing. And I'm like, really? All this and then for that? So it's like I had done the masterwork objective and they just weren't glowing. It's very odd. So hopefully that's fixed. They also said if you're going for some completionist stuff, the sleeper nodes, those are going away. Some people are trying to hit all 40, and they said they are working on September 8th some like duplicate protection. And if you're in a zone,
that is so useful.
Yeah, the duplicate protection, bad luck protection, whatever they call it. But they also say if you're in a zone where a sleeper node, if you need a sleeper node in a certain zone and you know where it's at, if you're not in that zone, you have a better chance of it spawning because it won't spawn one where you're standing. So they give you some kind of guidance to try and get the ones that you're going for, because people have been open like 300 or 400 nodes and not got the one they need because it's random.
Yeah, because it's random. So they gave like a little kind of like a, I don't say cheat sheet, but a tutorial on how to kind of get the numbers in your factor in your way to get something different in the sequence.
Yep. They also mentioned the frozen spawning gambit they're looking at fixing. This is all September 8th, so we got about a week and a half. The ADS on Cold Denial has a different zoom, or the ADS felt different. That's going to change on the ornament.
They're changing it.
Yep, they said the issue where the ADS on Cold Denial Season Pass ornament was different than the weapon model, because Fallout said it looked like just the zoom was a little more or something. It was just a different view on ADS.
The zoom is like hand cannon level zoom on the ornament, whereas it's more of a normal pulse rifle without it.
Yep, so they're going to be fixing that. They're putting Redrick's broadsword back into collection, so that'll get fixed.
But question, Redrick's, isn't that still going to get sunset?
Yes. It's more the idea that people who had it and deleted it, you can't pull it from collections right now.
Gotcha.
That was why. So you, like, if people had cleaned it out thinking, hey, it's a pursuit weapon, just like 21% delirium, they can't go get it, even though they earned it.
Okay, fair enough.
They said Spider will be offering 3 weekly wanted adventure bounties up from 1, which is good because sometimes that rotation's rough if you're trying to do, I think it's Chronicler or Wayfarer. One of the two. No, it's Wayfarer, I think. You need one specific ghost and one specific mission, and some people can go the whole week and not see it. So hopefully that'll help fix that one. And then they said Merciless, the exotic perk, wasn't working. The Merciless is going to be fixed to actually fire faster upon not killing something. Those are a little preview and bugs, but I did want to mention the glows because that's going to be before Solstice ends. You got to commit. But if you do I might buy them for one class. I don't know if I can give it to all 3. I don't know if I can spend $45 on glows, but one set to give them a little bit.
Yeah, one. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I might embrace the Titan set. So
I just bought it for the Warlock, and then it was done.
I just got to hit in the in trials, and then I'll be done.
Yeah. Trials, I got to hit up Ares and one of my other buddies, slowly work through those wins, and then I need to do a Nightfall. I did. It's so funny. Like Ares and I, if we need to go run pit, we're like, got half an hour? Cool. Pit is so fast now, and I still remember. I mean, doing it solo, it's like, yeah, I got to go slow and patient. But with one other person there, I can be a lot more careless. Man, we fly through that one now. But yeah, that's mostly it. We do have a patch coming on the 8th, 2.92, kind of our last little preview before. But other than that, that might be probably one of the last ones before festival. So September is going to be that open month of marketing. Go work on your old stuff. That's September. It feels like.
Absolutely.
Do you have Do you have anything on your list that you like? Any Destiny 2 bucket list before they go away? Catalyst, exotics, anything that you haven't done?
I still need to finish Outbreak.
You and me both, actually.
I think I've covered everything content-wise. Now it's just playing to enjoy.
Nice.
There's nothing that's getting a sunset that I have to do.
Nice. For me, it's the good old raids and a couple other things. I see Cat Daddy in there, one of my clan mates. Yeah, we will be linking up, man. I'll be getting stuff done once things finally calm down for me. It's a little crazy. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna be getting stuff done, and just getting my catalyst done, and I just want to get all my archetypes ready, ducks in a row, so I have every option I have come Beyond Light, just in case that meta shifts. Your boy got to be meta ready. So whatever they decide to do, I hopefully have good things, options for each scenario, each archetype. I actually enjoy that part of Destiny, like when things, hopefully scouts.
Yeah.
Snipers. You know what I'm saying? Speaking of which, I finally I got my Borealis catalyst. And I'm like, yo, Borealis is really good. Like, I've never really used it. But I'm like, could you imagine?
It is super strong.
It's super strong. And Ionic thing, break the shield. And I'm like, I'm mad I didn't use it when snipers were actually buffed and powerful. Because that thing is a nightfall, like, I'm like, just bring it. Yeah, it's just bringing it to the
question. Do you think Hoplite and Borealis get stasis in the fall?
I wondered about that. Somebody asked that, and they were also saying, how long is it going to take to rotate to the element that you want?
Good question. Wow, I didn't think about that. I don't know.
Do you think it would just intrinsically be like, oh, let me load my new ammo in, or do you think you have to do like a little Hardlight Borealis, little baby, like one mission quest to get the new ammo working or something? Do you think they'd go that far?
I think so.
Both already have catalysts.
Yeah.
So
so you couldn't add it in.
The catalyst to add the stasis ability. That's interesting. I don't know if they gonna go the extra mile and put it in. It may be not useful in the new stuff. I don't know.
Well, then you should just sunset that exotic.
You went the whole show.
Whole show made it through. I had to. You teed that one up. It was too easy. I did want to ask you guys though, when we see speaking of like how we get some of the new stuff, I don't know if it's a little tease, but how we get our stasis powers. We seem to like talk to the stranger a little bit, but it does seem like the one little like social tent. That's all I'm gonna call it, because it's this little like camouflage like drapery over it. There's one little door, but sitting in front of it, you've got Eris, the Drifter, and the stranger sitting around a campfire. Like, if we actually get to interact with all three NPCs on one destination, we never have that many in one place.
That is correct.
I'm hoping they all have their own little, like, Eris says, go do this stuff, go look at the pyramid. Stranger's like, hey, go over here, piss off the Fallen, get their stasis powers. Drifter, mess stuff. I don't know. But I was like, I'm very curious if we get to interact with all three, because they're sitting around the campfire, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. No, this is it's always cool that when they use multiple NPCs in like cinematic trailers and stuff like that, and then obviously not only do we have that going on, we got to see where they go with Mr. Zavala after we had Gamma Trap on. Yeah, if he goes another chapter of what his potential turn. Yeah, I'm excited. I mean, listen, that is gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Drifter's hilarious. Eris is the wild card. We all love the Stranger as far as just the mystery and where the story is going to go, and it's going to be fun. I am really looking forward to it. That's why
a good character pairing.
Yes, it's just the three odd. They don't
three non-musketeers. They don't.
Yes.
They're all the three outsiders, castaway, exiles. Like the only other one you need is Osiris sitting in there, and you're good. But they're so they're the anti-Vanguard, because if you picture like Cade, whether he's a little comedy guy, he's still the Hunter Vanguard, and Zavala and Ikora, they are like the exact opposite. So I'm so curious what the story does.
Anti-Vanguard, I like it.
Made it up. Who knows? But I mean, it's like, it's the trio, and it's like, and they all seem to kind of have some piece of the darkness. Like Eris is, who knows where she's at. The Stranger seems to be with like Stasis, and then you've got the Drifter with the darkness and the Taken and all that stuff. So they all seem to be embracing kind of the other side. And I wonder if they're almost like a preview, because you're saying a Stasis or a darkness power. What if with the Witch Queen we have some kind of Taken abilities, and then the final.
That's what I was thinking.
And then with like Lightfall, we might see whatever Eris has been holding forever, or maybe we get Eris's with like somewhere between those two, like we get the last two, and they're like a preview of what we might get to mess with.
Right. So Eris was wielding Stasis in the Beyond Light reveal trailer. If you saw, she was manipulating ice.
That's right. Yeah.
Who?
Eris.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So Eris could be potentially Stasis. I wonder what the Stranger would offer then. She's time. Just mess with time.
Time, right? Yeah. Gotta see. There's a lot of questions.
I just want to know what happens in the next 5 years of Destiny right now. Come on, just tell me.
Give it to us.
Seriously, there's so much. I just wish I could know where this thing's going, because they have so much built right now. Man, they got a lot to execute on, but it's got so much potential. I guess it's good. They're never going to run out of stories to tell. But that's about all I got. You guys got anything else you want to talk about, cover? As I said, we did 3 hours, and half of that was food, and this one we burned through all the topics. So,
good. We haven't caught up, man. Like I said.
Oh, hold on. This I'm probably going to get the right answer. So, Hop, quick question. High quality steak. Say, go to a steakhouse, spend like $50, $60
today.
What is on that steak? Or do you eat steak?
Can I pick a place?
Yeah, you can pick a place.
All right, so Cut out in LA has a really good Wagyu, and they serve it with an alpalva sauce, a couple of other things. It's so good. It is really good.
So there's a sauce on your steak?
Cook medium rare. Well, you don't have
That's
to
right,
use
cook.
it, right? So most of it I do without the sauce, but the sauce is good to add something to it.
Really? You know what?
What sauce do you like on your steak, sir? Hold on. There's a difference. She's talking about like $150 plate probably at a nice place.
Yes, I'm talking about like a $200 steak.
Yeah. You don't have to get into the specifics.
No. I'm telling him, I was like, I was even going like mid-range. Like, okay, so Hop went like 4-star French cuisine, like crazy cooking. I was at like at least a fine dining Texas steakhouse where the steak's going to be at least like $80. And I was asking him if he comes down here, and we go. And he's like, "Yeah, let me get my A1." And I about fell out of my chair. So I was just curious your thoughts on fine dining steak and A1.
He changing it over.
The best thing to add is whatever works for your palate. So if that actually comes and it tastes better for you, do it.
Oh man,
I don't like it. I'd probably go without it. But if you like it, do it.
Hop is walking that fence all day. Just
you heard it here first. Listen,
there's no reason to be mad about someone else's preferences. Just like
or not to sauce. That is the question. It is what it is. You know what I mean? You can't get mad because the woman she appreciates a good sauce every now and then.
I don't agree. Like I'm not going to put A1 on my steak.
No, we don't want to say A1. You said every once in a while, right? You would have a sauce with your
but I wouldn't do A1. It would be a sauce that's like homemade or something.
That's fine. As long as a sauce is applied to that steak. That's all I care. Just condiment. Condiments are good.
Like a good wine reduction.
Oh
it
yeah.
has to be good enough. I'm not gonna add ketchup. I'm not gonna add A1.
Thank
it
you.
has to be like
Okay. Like fine dining, yeah. It's like if you get into like, if you get into a nice dish and some like high class sauces, but yeah, the ketchup and the A1, yeah, pass.
mhm.
I'll take my A1L, but I'll take that sauce victory.
But yes, that's
There's
yeah.
a difference, dog. How dare you? Yeah. Oh, is it homemade sauce is fine now, Krista? Ah, you're coming around. That was really what it was.
Yeah, but if you do like a red wine reduction on like wine and steak go together on top of that, like that alone is a pairing. So that's one thing.
Listen, I'm a bad child. I put ketchup on eggs. I do all type of evil things. I got to mix it up, man.
I the Tabasco and eggs.
Oh, see?
Hot sauce with eggs.
Condiment. See, now here's the thing.
I was like, now I'm gonna get ruined because I eat a lot of stuff plain.
Everything is plain.
Like if I get a hamburger, it's meat and bread, or sometimes caramelized onions.
I'm able to swallow that. Like there's nothing. It's dry, like no sauce.
See, but if it's a quality burger, it better not be dry.
Okay, you need some flavoring, some savoriness.
No, it means if it's a juicy, well cooked burger and it's not a dry ass bun, you can eat a meat and bun burger. Now, yeah, I don't do condiments. I don't do relish, pickles, mayonnaise, mustard, ketchup. None of them.
Frank, you just a plain Jane Frank guy. There's no.
Oh, my hot dogs are truly plain. I never put anything on a hot dog.
I just have so many questions.
Hey, hit me. I'm here. Chat's loving it. So you got questions? Ask them.
Oh man.
Is there any sort of condiment that you do like, or do you just eat your food dry?
So like, okay, so if I do like enchiladas, I like a ranchero sauce. So I'll do like, I like a red sauce. I'm really picky about cheese. That's a whole like podcast in itself, probably. If it's a burger, the most I will do, rarely a good cheese, but if I do that, I gotta have bacon. I will do caramelized onions and say like avocado, but I don't want like, ketchup. Chick-fil-A sauce or ketchup or mayo or mustard, none of those. And then no pickles. God, no pickles. We had this one before.
Repulsive to you?
Ketchup?
Like, is it just like you kind of feel like when you have it?
Pickles are worse. Mustard's worse. Ketchup's still tomato based, but I don't want it on the food. The food that it goes on, I don't want it on it.
So, do you have ketchup on it?
No, I don't want. I like tomatoes. I will eat like a ranchero sauce. I will eat a marinara sauce, but I don't want ketchup on the food that it goes on.
Interesting.
Eve, the ketchup has been vilified by this man. That's so interesting.
Maybe it's too much growing up with like meatloaf and ketchup on top. Didn't like the ketchup. Who knows? But no.
The Destiny Cooking Show continues.
Demand a cheese cast. All right, cheese in short order. I do not like liquid cheese, so I don't eat queso. My wife loves queso, so she gets to enjoy all the queso, which is fine. I don't like cold cheese. So like shredded cold cheese or like, wedges of cheese on crackers. No, thank you. If I am going to do cheese, it has to be melted, but not liquid. So like picture pizza. If you're going to put it as a topping on like an enchilada and melt it as it cooked over the top. Or like, and it definitely can't be a cold piece of cheese on a burger. That thing has to be melted and not American. American ain't cheese. Sorry.
Oh, God.
If I ever come back, we need to do a food podcast.
Well, she said cheesecast, and I thought it said cheesecake. I'm like, I can talk about cheesecake. I make cheesecake. That's different.
Me and him, we have a truth. His cheesecake is the truth. But my thing is, so what cheddar though? We can do cheddar. We can do the cheddar on the cheese. Is that allowed?
I will do a bacon cheeseburger.
All right. So we have,
but nothing else on it. Nothing. That is as far as the burger. Like caramelized onions actually is kind of. I love caramelized onions. Like those are a recent addition. Raw onions, no. And that's a texture thing. I don't like raw onions in anything. I like them to be cooked. So that's weird. How do we get on these? And then you guys have so many questions. It keeps going. I'm not that interesting. I'm boring on food, so it shouldn't be that hard of a discussion.
The fact that you are not interested in a lot of different food makes it interesting.
Yes.
You guys are like, I eat whatever. Oh, you're boring. Oh, you have choices you make? Oh, we got to talk.
actually like something. I'll be like, yo, he liked that on his food? Okay, wow, this is okay.
Now, spices, seasonings, yes, that's crucial. Obviously, you got to have some flavor to your food, but
Okay.
getting it. We learning.
it's not just like complete. Yeah, it's like a boiled chicken breast is as boring to everybody. Like, it's got to be marinated. It's got to be seasoned. Like, I love teriyaki. I will do teriyaki on lots of things.
Okay.
Like a Hawaiian burger, even with a slice of pineapple on there. That's, I mean, I have my choices.
How do you feel about spice?
I like spice. I actually do. I really like spice. I don't need to like be sweating from my ears and eyes because of it. But I will say, like, after living in Texas and like kind of growing accustomed to some spices, like I lived in Wisconsin for about a year, and then versus like even just Texas version of Tex-Mex, salsa up there, that is tomato sauce. Down here, at least it might have a kick to it. So it's got to have something going on. So I definitely am like, especially like Mexican food spice for sure. It can't be bland, otherwise it is boring. But like Indian spice, guac, growing. Guac is growing on me. I will.
Yes.
So now, mostly I would prefer just like straight avocado plain without all the other stuff in there. I will occasionally dabble, but I like the pure avocado on something as opposed to like the peppers and the onions and the jalapenos and all the stuff in the guac too.
Okay. I think I get it. I think your taste buds at a younger age were very resistant to this stuff, because I know when I was younger, like I didn't eat fish. I didn't eat a lot of things when I was young. And then as I got older, it became an acquired taste. You know what I'm saying? I think for you, you may need to try some things you formerly rejected and see if you still dislike them.
I have tried some things over time. Half the time, because it's on accident. When I ask for a burger one way, I get another and bite, and I'm like, crap, it's not right.
Okay.
So it's like some of that stuff I've tried out of not my choice. Just be like, I get, grabbing the food real fast on the fly, and they made it wrong. I'm like, and it's like literally I haven't even finished like closing my teeth, and I know it's wrong.
You know it's wrong.
If it's pickles, I can smell it before it gets there, but everything else I got a half bite into. But as opposed to, for like New Red barbecue rub, I would rather have a rub than barbecue sauce.
Yeah, but rubs are better than sauce.
Well,
so like
that's real.
That's real. And if barbecue sauce is on there, it can't be like, if GMD Geek in here, he's probably losing his mind. I don't want it slathered in sauce. I would rather have a little bit of sauce, like almost barely brushed on for the flavor if it's a good sauce. But mostly the rub and the spice is what I would prefer. Unlike, say, like,
in my previous statement, I think rubs are better for ribs. For brisket and for other Texas barbecue, sauce is the way.
So mine is the key. It's got to be a good enough brisket that you don't even need sauce. It's got to be juicy and cooked well that you don't need the sauce.
It's an addition if you want it.
Airplane.
If you need it, the brisket is too dry.
That I agree, 100%.
He said I'm on team rubs.
You can't, Spidey. I wouldn't say that out of context to other people. You're good right now.
That sentence was Spidey. You are
Back is over there. He's like, he put barbecue sauce on his porterhouse steak. Why?
Oh my god.
Yeah, see, I'm like, I would like something cooked, like marinated in and cooked in, but like just swimming in sauce. Probably none of the stuff I mentioned. But yeah, what is this?
Fun. That's the fun. The dip.
Swimming.
Oh, it's so fun. Oh man, you never do chips with dip? Never do that?
I do chips and salsa. My wife gives me so much crap for the way I eat my chips. I used to just not eat salsa at all. So it was just like chips and they just had to be salted. Otherwise it is a little boring. Now when I dip, so I saw on Twitter, I'm not the only one, but I don't do the chip. I don't do like a chip and I don't scoop. I dunk and then bring it back out and kind of shake it off. So
you shake it off? Oh my god. Hold on, this is.
But I know I'm not the only one.
We get the right texture here. Classic. That is the epitome of how I visualize you with confidence. Wow.
But yeah, there's no scooping salsa. I don't want like the big like hunking. No, my wife gets all the scoops, so I'll like thin out the sauce and she can just scoop easy, like if we're sharing.
Yo, Crystal.
See, I saw a poll on Twitter and somebody was like, "Are you dip or scoop?" And I was like, "I'm a dip. I like the flavor now." That's actually something I've probably since I met my wife.
Like, calm down, salsa.
Yeah, but I don't need a bucket of tomatoes on top of my chip.
Oh, I love it. Oh, so good.
Oh, see, there we go. Forcados, he's a dipper. Thank you. I got a couple dips.
A couple of dippers in. There's a lot of dippers in here.
See, you need both in this life. You need some dippers to thin it out, and then you scoopers, you got this like thick tomato paste almost coming up on your chip right there.
So
hear me out. If you dip into the scoop, what you get is you get your whole chip in, then you pull all the sauce out, and it's better than just a normal scoop.
All right, that's interesting.
I like with like chips and salsa and stuff. I take so much salsa.
You're one of those like, hey, you may as well bring like 4 little cups of salsa. I'm gonna go through it all.
I love it.
Just drinking it over there.
Guys, you gotta just eat the dip. You're a savage, Neo. We gonna put you on an intervention, sir. You have something. What happened to you?
I was a picky eater growing up. Ask my mom.
Not you. I'm talking to Neo. I'm just giving Neo.
Yeah. Some of you guys will drink the salsa. Avoid chips with the curved edges. No, I don't care about the shape. That doesn't bother me. Yeah. I don't do buffalo sauce either on wings. I don't do buffalo wings.
You don't do the white sauce. What is it that you dip them in?
Blue cheese? Hell no. I don't do ranch either.
The blue cheese is liquid?
Well, blue cheese is just gross.
Oh my God. Jeez.
Okay, well, blue cheese is an acquired taste. I know it's one of my favorites, but I also know that a lot of people don't like it.
Interesting. So you don't do buffalo wings at all. That's not even.
I mean, if I do them, they're in either like a barbecue or a teriyaki or a rub, but it's definitely not like, because whenever you go spicy, it's always like buffalo, hot, mild, crazy, fire, fire engine diarrhea, whatever it is. Like, I don't do, because I've learned a lot of it's like vinegar based that I don't like. Because salad dressings I don't like, therefore salad not a big thing. I'll do vegetables, but not salad, because I don't like most dressings are vinegar based. So that's one of those things as well. And that's why it's like if the vinegar gets to be too potent, I'm out.
Interesting.
All right, I don't know how long these people want to sit here, and also if we should let Hoplite get back to her world talking about food. I apologize about the departure. She may have enjoyed it though. She had questions. So
I'm loving this. Like I could go for another hour.
She's like, I must know all the food things. Do you like this? No. I know I said Indian food at one point, and I feel like you peaked up. I have tried one dish of Indian food. My wife likes it. She's kind of on board. She's made a couple curries. That is a whole different spice palette. And that's one I'm like,
yes, it is.
I'm like, I am not as used to that. So I've tried, like, she'll make it and I will try it. Not that big of a fan. I think I tried like chicken biryani, which is like as plain as that crap gets, because it was like chicken sitting under like a bucket of rice. So there's no sauce. And the spices there, that was a way for me to like kind of taste the spices on the chicken, but not embrace like it floating in some, curry sauce or anything like that. So it was like a dabble. That was kind of okay, but like if it was just like, chicken, I'm trying to think, what is like chicken tikka masala or something like that, and it's just floating? No, I'm probably not even, I'm a little scared to try that, honestly.
Wow. He's particular. He knows what he don't like.
Gordon over there is like, all right, so we're going to put E's eating habits into a spreadsheet. No cross-reference here. We got a VLOOKUP going on.
Just hopping around different food joints, trying to see.
I've never actually had pho. Apparently I've been told.
You've never had pho?
No, pho. Yeah, sorry.
It's okay.
To the Last Spoon podcast with Ebonitis and Cognitus.
The Last Spoon. Ebonitis and Cognitus. The Last Spoonius.
And Cognitus.
Oh, this is a wild one.
Cocktails.
It's busy. That we in simpatico there.
Yeah, I can do some mixed cocktails. Now I'm one of those like I'm the guy who doesn't like whiskey, so. But like tequila, mixed drinks would probably be with vodka. But honestly, if it's like tequila, whether it be a shot, a margarita, probably in that realm. I make a damn good lemon drop martini. I could drink that until I'm just on the floor. So.
Alcohol has no restrictions for me. I like everything. The only thing I probably don't like is, it's funny. I'm not really a beer guy as much as everybody else.
I don't.
I don't. I call it red soda. Just not a fan.
Yeah. the most you'll get me to try is like a Blue Moon, and even that I don't really care for it.
Yeah, I've tried enough between like here's an IPA. It's like okay, now I just taste straight hops, or it's like or Bud Light's just like this is sparkling kind of piss water. Like I mean, like beer. I've tried. Like some people are like beer snobs and IPAs and all like the craft beers. And I'm like totally cool. I tried one that was like had flavor and like whether it was like chocolate or vanilla and almost like there was something going on. It was like I could see how you could like that. Like that one wasn't terrible. But if I'm gonna choose to drink, it will never be beer first.
It's not gonna be beer.
Yeah.
If I have a choice, it would be number 1 whiskey. Number 2 would be a mojito.
Ah, nice. I like the balance.
Yeah. I like the balance.
You like whiskey? Like, is it like whiskey just like neat? Whiskey water, soda, whiskey and Coke? What do you?
Neat generally, it can be a little bit strong, but I prefer it neat because I feel like Jack and Coke, but it waters it down too much.
Okay. I do that. All that, man. I see Honey Jack in there. Long Island. That's not basic. Long Island is strong, bro. That is serious. I like Long Island.
It's masked to get you hammered in one glass. Yes. That's the point.
Fireball, I see whiskey in there. I've done that before. Fireball's cool. Like I said, the only alcohol mixed drink I do not like Jaeger. I have horror stories of Jaeger.
Oh, my wife doesn't drink that anymore because of stories.
Because I'll end up somewhere. If I have Jaeger is a no. For Cognito. Everything else,
Jaeger's a no for my wife for Crazy Town. That's when she gets
really that's
so you don't control yourself. Why is it about that?
It's something about that.
Is it because everybody does Jaeger and Red Bull together and then they just go bonkers all night? I don't know.
Evil black licorice tasting drink.
Oh, see, that's just gross. I don't.
Yeah, you ain't gonna like Jaeger.
No, I mean I've had a Jaeger and Red Bull just because like they did like a group shot and I just like I can take a shot of most things. Just to get it done with, at least I can take a shot fast. I will say there are some people who can take shots, which I can take a shot. There are some people who struggle taking shots, and man, that is painful to watch.
Yeah, some people can. Some people can.
But yeah, generally it's like I don't even during this quarantine. Somebody's like all the like parents and stuff like drink like buying out the liquor stores and stuff. I don't drink much, so if I do, I want it to taste good. Especially at my age, I don't care to like try and get wasted anymore. I'm not trying to party yet.
Yeah, actually, shout out clowns. Yes, amaretto. Yes, Dano, Jack Daniels, honey is. Oh, I'm with you, bro. And honey, yeah, I see where you at. Me and Dano with vibe. I like Dano's drink choices.
Amaretto sour. That I can. That's like dessert, by the way. An amaretto sour is literally like candy.
Candy. Some stuff is like candy to me. Like it's very dangerous for me to have because it tastes like.
You'll never get drunk on an amaretto sour, but yeah, it's just all sugar. That's why. But.
Absolutely.
Okay, this has definitely gone off the deep end.
Food and spirits at the last word.
Yeah. So we covered Hoplite. We saw Cognito's travel through the journey of all IGN podcasts in 1 week. Quite the run through, sir. Need you to be running through the IGN office with your like Olympic torch. Be like, I'm here. All right, next stop. I'm over here. All right, I'm running out the door. I'll see you guys. I got to go to the last word tomorrow. Then we talked about Stasis, and now I've been talking about my picky eating habits, and then we're going to get drunk at 10:30 in the morning.
Really?
That's a last word podcast if I've ever seen one.
It's a good one.
Well, man, Hop, it has been awesome to have you this morning. Sorry we went long, but I think the end might have been worth it. But yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure. Very cool to get somebody of your just knowledge and kind of depth in the community and everything in here. Glad we made it work as well. Been trying to make some of our guests work, and you were one that was like, come on, we got to get the timing right. So we got it going good. But let everybody know where to find you on Twitter, Raid Secrets. What do you got doing? If there's anything you're working on the side, floor is basically yours. So tell everybody where to find you because you're going to be heard in a couple different places.
You can find me on twitter.com at twitter.com/hoplitedestiny, on Twitch over at the Hoplite. And keep an eye on socials. We are launching something pretty soon with myself, Drewski, Ascendant Nomad, and it's going to be fun.
Okay. Looking forward to it.
I was going to say, that's a good crew right there.
A really good crew.
It's me, Drewski, Ascendant Nomad, Kami Cake, Sides, Ekugan, Glow, Critical Ape, and a few others.
That's quite a stack. I don't know if that's like a stream team or something. Not gonna call it too soon, but that's definitely a group. That's awesome. Well, very cool. So yeah, definitely follow this lady on Twitter, follow her on Twitch. If you go to Raid Secrets, remember she's keeping that thing alive as well. So yeah, definitely thank you for all the work that you do, and just thank you for being just an amazing person in this community. It's very good to have positive, uplifting, supportive people in a place that sometimes has its toxicity to it, maybe not the best choices. Nice to have some shining lights in there somewhere.
Absolutely.
Cognito, sir. I don't know if you can top what's already happened this week, but what do you got coming up? It's just downhill from here, man. Sorry.
Yeah, this is a week to first of all, salute to Hoplite for coming through. Glad we was able to work it out, have some fun, talk some Destiny. So that's always amazing. But yeah, like I said, eventful week. Obviously, if you didn't get a chance to catch it, I was on Podcast Unlocked, I believe on Tuesday. I'm losing track of days. And so, yesterday I was on Fire Team Chat. A lot of fun with both teams. Salute to IGN. Had a great time, and hopefully be back again. And yeah, you already know, man. Little Cognito on Twitter, y'all know what it is, man. It's still regular old Cog. Don't let these little appearances fool you. It's still me.
Oh man, we got Hollycog in here now.
Hollycog, that's Aries.
He's Holly Mod. He's the Holly Modness of all. But you, sir, you are the prestigious Lord Cognitius.
With Evanitis. So yeah, man, Cash, you already know. Every Sunday, the Lord's Day, 1 p.m. Eastern, we will be doing Iron Lords podcast. No guest this week because Cog needed a break. And we don't need to do any intros this week. I was very happy to show up. He had everything lined up for me. I was like, whew. But yeah, this Sunday, it's going to be the Lord's. We're going to talk about everything that's going down. Most likely Ratchet and Clank. We're going to talk about the great showing that it had. We're probably talking about the latest shakeup at Halo. A lot of topics to discuss, so please check us out. Sunday, 1 p.m. Iron Lord Podcast, YouTube. If you're not on YouTube, you catch the restream, simultaneous stream on Twitter. And yeah, man. Thank you, lordsofgaming.net, man. I want to salute the guys. We just made Open Critic, so our reviews will be now aggregated by an official entity. So salute to the team. They are wow, yeah, like couldn't get a bunch of better guys that are committed to writing, high quality writing, and we got the application in. So salute to the team. That it really means a lot. We're really going to do this up. So check us out there. And yeah, man, you already know that Last Word podcast that I had to pub. Even though I was with rubbing shoulders with the Hollywood, I had to salute my podcast. You know what I'm saying? That's let them know who we are, and that felt good. It was good to laugh and hear Destiny, but he remembered you. They knew what was going on, and it's good to see. It's good to see people in the comment section, even if they didn't know me from Iron Lord Podcast, they knew me from here, and that was dope. So salute to E, my man. Fun week, and looking forward to the future, man. This is a lot of fun, and so everybody, the support, y'all in the chat, it's been tremendous. Thank y'all so much. It really means a lot to me.
Well, I don't know how I can top these two, so I'm Ebontis everywhere. You guys can find. Like, we got awesome guests coming in. We got Cognito having the week of weeks, and then yeah, there's me. You guys can find me everywhere: Twitch, Twitter, YouTube. You guys broke 50K, still climbing on that one. Thank you guys. Obviously, the next threshold is going to be the 100K subs, so that'll be, that's the far stretch, but I'm halfway. I got to work on getting that button eventually, so be doing this for a little while. Obviously, we'll be breaking down the Stasis trailers for each character in the next upcoming week and a half. We'll see what comes from those. Gonna be playing a little bit of Mortal Shell, trying to work through that one. That's a fun one. It's not too big, so it's a nice one in between, depending on how much time I get to play. Might work on that one between Avengers coming up. So trying to work on between balancing my Destiny time for catalysts and other stuff and guides there versus just playing some backlog stuff, because I have so much stuff to work on that I would like to play. I just finished Ghost of Tsushima. Whenever you finish Ghost of Tsushima, we have to talk.
We gotta talk. I'm literally on that final hack. I gotta get it.
Oh, dude, I've heard it's super good.
It's so good. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's so good. Yeah, if
I don't want to cause a tangent at the end of stream, but what are y'all playing right now?
Right now, just finished Ghost of Tsushima. Mortal Shell if I can beat it this weekend, and Avengers coming. But I also have like Death Stranding, Horizon Zero Dawn, and Final Fantasy VII in my backlog.
I love Death Stranding. Definitely recommend. I think it's a very good game.
One of my buddies who I would never picture liking that loved it. So that's one, like, he's the reason I'm going to play that game at some point. So, and now we got you backing up as well. There's some people that love it, some people that were like Amazon delivery service, but apparently there's something to that game. And then like the ending of the game I hear is like 4 hours. So you got to strap in and get ready when you get there. It's
like a 2-hour sequence.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just cutscenes and no breaks.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So it's a journey to go through. Yeah, it's typically, what are you playing right now? Somehow we did all this and never asked. Outside of Destiny, what are you playing? Anything else?
Microsoft Flight Sim, Fire Emblem Three Houses. A little bit of Death Stranding here and there. Tetris Effect.
Oh, nice.
I'm kind of all over the place.
Tetris Effect is so, like, that is one, if you just need to, like, zen out to go to sleep.
Gorgeous.
Oh, it's amazing. Have you played it in VR?
No, I haven't.
Oh, that's a whole different level. Like, it's awesome on PlayStation, like good size screen and everything. You strap into VR in that thing, man, I feel like I feel like I took drugs. I know I haven't, I never have, but I feel like you're almost on, like, when you start playing and getting in sync with the music, and then like a big giant manta ray swims through your screen. I was like, this is fantastic.
Get into a flow state, and it's
an
experience.
Yeah, it's, my wife will kick my butt at Tetris forever. She kicks my butt at Beat Saber and Tetris. Everything else I got her on games. I play too many games. But the two that
you need to start a channel, bro.
Yeah. My wife's Beat Saber channel. She's freaking rock star. Be like, oh, here's an Expert Plus song. Like Mrs. 10 on her first try. I'm like,
but it's not just like hot, like his wife is like expert level. Like not like, oh, she's okay. Like, this is like, how are you doing this? Like, you're breaking the game score. Like, if you're reaching limits that the game is not ready for you to reach. That type of, like, really good.
Reading plus ultra.
As a lifelong gamer, I sit there and I'm like, well, I am not going to win this battle. You got to cut your losses on some games. And this one, like, the learning curve was like, hey, I kind of got to, like, hard, like, and then it was just like, whoa, and I was like, see ya.
Yeah,
she's a beast. Shout out to my wife. She'll never listen to these, but shout out to my wife. She doesn't want to listen to 2 hours of Destiny. She's got other stuff to do.
I understand.
But yeah, this has been amazing. Had a bunch of fun. Hop, you are always welcome back. Pleasure having you in here. Glad we got to see this thing work. We got to wrap this thing up because holy crap, we went longer than I thought we were going to when I thought we were ending this thing. But yeah. Chat, you guys have all been amazing. Thank you very much. Hang out and chat, guys. I'm going to send you guys over to raid somebody once we are done, so hang tight on that one. But today, August 28th, the day after the Stasis bomb dropped, episode 118. Thank you, Hoplite. Cog, you got to get some sleep. And to all of you guys, thank you very much. It has been the last word.